I'm Christine Lisi. Timberwolves center Rudy Gobert in street clothes for tonight's play-in matchup against the Lakers. Minnesota suspended him for a game for punching a teammate on Sunday. There are two players not named, LeBron James or Anthony Davis, who will play a crucial role for an LA team that's an 8.5-point favorite tonight, believes ESPN's Tim Bontemps.
They need D'Angelo Russell and Malik Beasley to hit shots. If those guys go 10 for 18, which they're capable of doing, I think it's going to be very hard for the Lakers to lose this game. On the other hand, if they go 2 for 18, which they're also very capable of doing, that opens the door for Minnesota to sneak this, even with their injuries.
Tim Bontemps on Fitz and Harry. You heard Tim mention it. T-Wolves also missing the injured Jaden McDaniels and Naz Reid. Tonight's winner is the West's 7th seed and plays Memphis in the first round of the playoffs. The loser will have the chance to play for the 8th seed. Heat and Hawks meet in tonight's other play-in game. The winner is 7th in the East and plays Boston in round 1. The loser will play for the 8th seed. NFL, Detroit traded quarterback Jeff Okudah to Atlanta for a 5th-round pick in the upcoming draft, reports ESPN's Adam Schefter and Field Yates.
If you're experiencing a spring hiring rush, then you need Indeed. Their powerful all-in-one hiring platform makes it easy to attract, interview, and hire candidates all in one place. Want to find your next great hire? Visit Indeed.com/credit.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studios.
That's right.
And off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. It's AFR. I'm Matt.
This is Shaq O'Neal, and I hate Matt.
Paul O'Neal.
They're chanting Paul O'Neal's name.
Yusuf. And Mr. Toby Tumplay. All right, we're here. Glad you are as well. Get out there and make it a good one. Football Tigers are back on the practice field today. Zion speaks. Devin White wants a trade. Kuiper's got a new mock draft. LSU is at Tulane. Man, we got a lot to get to today. Pumped that you're with us here for the next 3 hours. Let's begin with LSU football. Tigers are back on the Ponderosa. Little spring practice. After today, just 4 more practices until LSU takes the practice field or takes the field at Tiger Stadium for the spring game a week from Saturday. We'll get you details on the spring game just as soon as we have them. Brian Kelly did meet with the media after practice today, and there's a couple of interesting things to come out of Brian Kelly's media availability earlier today. First and foremost, there was a couple of players, a couple of starters that were missing today. Greg Brooks, who we know has been out a bit, and Major Burns as well. Both of your starting safeties were absent. Now, I'm going to give some context on this in a bit, but first, here's what Brian Kelly had to say about each of them. Let's start with Brian Kelly giving the update on Greg Brooks.
Greg is about 80% on the Alter G, 80% of his body weight. He had a sprained ankle that was, giving him, some aggravation, so we just kind of shut him down and try to get him back to 100%.
Totally good with that. Greg Brooks was in a walking boot last week. Listen, the thing about spring practice, and I know this is a bit repetitive because we say it every time we talk about spring practice. The most important thing in spring practice for your starters, for your returning players, for the guys who you know what you have in them, is just get through spring practice healthy. I don't need Greg Brooks suffering an injury or pushing through an injury in spring that's going to cost him any time in the fall. That is common sense. We all understand it. Greg Brooks is a key part of LSU's defense. Getting him back for that COVID year, for that 5th year, is massive for this defense. He was so good last year in that nickel role, and with losing both Joe Fouché and Jay Ward, with the need at safety, having Greg Brooks back is huge. So, understandably, you don't need Greg Brooks to push through an injury. If he's 80% right now, sit him. It's fine. Get other guys some reps. Brian Kelly also spoke about Major Burns. The news there is not as good.
Major has more of an injury. He had that ankle injury, and he's kind of re-injured that. So we're going to shut him down for the spring. We'll have those guys back for, all of their full training. But, that's just why you're seeing young guys out there playing safety. So we wanted to get healthy at those positions more so. I think we won't practice Major again, but we'll probably get Greg back out there this weekend.
The concerning part about Major Burns, and by the way, the ankle injury that Brian Kelly referred to about re-aggravating it, if you remember back in 2021, which was Major Burns' first season in Baton Rouge, he was a freshman at Georgia in 2020, the COVID year, and Major played in 6 games that year, comes to LSU as a sophomore, I guess, really as a freshman because you don't count the COVID year. Played in just 5 games that year. He started all 5 games he played, had the ankle injury cost him the rest of the season. He apparently re-aggravated that injury. Last year, 2022, he played 9 games, started 3 times, but he had that really severe neck injury, which cost him a chunk of the season in the middle. So when I look at the safety spot, both guys raise interesting questions. You were good there last year. Joe Fouché, veteran player, and obviously Jay Ward was such a versatile guy for you and really found a home there at safety. And that allowed you to play Greg Brooks at nickel. One of the things I think we all agree on last year as we watched the team, when Greg Brooks would kick back to safety and we saw Sage Ryan go in at nickel, or when they just rotated, there was a pretty dramatic drop-off from Greg Brooks to Sage Ryan. Now, part of that could have been Greg Brooks was a 4th-year player, and Sage Ryan was in year 2 after really missing most of his freshman season due to injury. Or maybe it's just that Greg Brooks is better as a nickelback, playing sort of that box safety nickel role, than Sage Ryan. And that may be the case. So I'm going to be very curious to see if, I understand the concept of taking your veteran guys and moving them back to safety, especially if you feel like you have depth at nickel. But if Greg Brooks is better at nickel, then I want him in nickel, and you can find other safeties. For what it's worth, Greg Brooks had a career-high 66 tackles a year ago. These were his 4 seasons at Arkansas. 25 tackles, 39 tackles, 48, and then last year, 66 at LSU. So every year of his career, he's gotten better. 25, 39, 48, 66 last year, and now he's back for a 5th season taking advantage of the COVID year. It may come to pass that Greg Brooks is just your best option at nickel, so you play him there. But time will tell. The other thing that the other thing that we saw today that stands out is also in the secondary. And really, the reason we've talked a bunch about the secondary is you lost so much. We mentioned Fouché and Jay Ward, but also Jark Bernard-Converse, Mekhi Gardner, Cody Dickerson, a.k.a. Colby Richardson. And so you've got a lot of guys that you're replacing there. We know they've brought in a bunch of different guys. Well, today, LaTerrence Welch and Zy Alexander were running with the first-team corners. The caveat there is that we know Deuce Chestnut, J.K. Johnson aren't going through spring. So a couple of the transfers from Syracuse and Ohio State, respectively, aren't going through spring drills right now. So they may end up being your starters. So there's a little bit of an asterisk there. But the guy who is Denver Harris. That was the former 5-star who was at A&M, transferred into LSU this year, and earlier in the spring was taking first-team reps. But now it's been pretty consistent, at least when the media has been able to watch, that you've seen Zy Alexander and LaTerrence Welch taking the first-team reps. And that's something just to kind of put an earmark. What I've been told, conversations I've had with people around, is that, look, Denver Harris is a very fluid athlete, strong, physical, super athletic, all the things that made him a 5-star, but he played a lot of man coverage in his just, hey, go be more athletic than the other team's receiver. And what he's having to learn now is how to play zone and how to learn different concepts. And all of that's a little bit of a process for him right now, whereas a guy like Zy Alexander and LaTerrence Welch, who have been around a little bit longer, LaTerrence Welch, in his second year here at LSU, and Zy Alexander in this defense, and Zy Alexander, of course, was a JUCO All-American, or a FCS All-American, I should say. You're just talking about more experienced players who are probably picking up all the defense and the concepts just further along right now than Denver Harris. So at some point, do we see the talent, that learning curve not be quite as sharp and the talent catch up, and do you see a little shuffle? But as of right now, that's something worth keeping an eye on. One other thing, because I feel like we always have to talk quarterbacks out of obligation when we can. Brian Kelly was asked today about Daniels and Nussmeier and where each of them has improved so far this spring.
Both of them have a list of things that they want to work on. Jaden's been pushing the ball down the field, trying to really work on quick identification and one-on-one matchups down the field. Garrett is just, discipline and progression reads. So each one of them has some things that Joe Sloan has laid out for him and Mike Denbrock in terms of what they want them to work on specifically. And that's kind of how we've scripted them as well. They've done a really good job of working on those things.
One other thing, actually. Brian Kelly was also asked about the defensive line coach. We know that Jamar Cain's off to the Denver Broncos. You've got a sort of an interim defensive line coach right now for spring drills. But Brian Kelly gave a timeline on hiring the permanent replacement.
Yeah, we wanted to get through the spring. We feel like we're in a great situation with Gerald Chapman, on staff. So there was no rush. We've got to go find a defensive line coach. He'll be a candidate for the position as well. But we'll begin that process once we finish up the spring calendar for us. And then we're on the road, so we can get on the road and get to candidates and make it a whole lot easier. So, expect something within the next, 3 weeks or so.
So 3 weeks, which also kind of falls as well within the timeline of the transfer portal. Remember, the new transfer portal window, the second portal window opens later this week, and it'll be open for a couple of weeks. So you get through that portal window, then you can maybe find your permanent replacement there at defensive line. I'll just tell you one name to keep an eye on. This isn't going to surprise anybody, but I can tell you internally there are people pushing for Bo Davis. Of course, Bo Davis is an LSU guy. He has been in Alabama. He's currently defensive line coach at Texas. There's a lot that would have to happen. There are a lot of I's to dot, T's to cross. There are salaries and buyouts and a lot of different things that may have to happen for that to happen. But I know a lot of people have mentioned that name. It's an obvious name to mention, and it's one that certainly there's a lot of interest internally from people at LSU in pulling Bo Davis away from Austin back to Baton Rouge. We'll see if they can get that done. So we'll know here in about 3 weeks. All right. It's After Further Review. We're glad you're with us here. We're brought to you by Shawbills Tire and Auto Service. ShawBillsTire.com. ShawBillsTire.com. Should mention even more than I do, but Shawbills is hiring, and they're always looking for motivated people who want to work and be in a positive environment and grow a career instead of just a job. Nobody has better benefit packages than Shawbills for their employees. You can learn more online. You can apply online at ShawBillsTire.com. That's ShawBillsTire.com. With 18 locations across South Louisiana, there's a Shawbills near you. The newest location that just opened up in Laplace. Of course, I tell you all the time, if you need tires, nobody's going to sell you the best tires on the road at cheaper prices than Shawbills. But, of course, also, if you're looking for a career instead of a job, you can apply online or in person today at ShawBillsTire.com. Shawbills, where we keep you rolling. All right, y'all, it's a really busy day, as we mentioned. I mentioned also that the transfer portal reopens later this week. Brian Kelly did touch on that. We'll circle back to that a bit later in the show, around hour 3. If you missed some of the headline news today around the NFL, Devin White has requested a trade from the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I'm going to give you my thoughts on that in 45 minutes. So to start hour 2, we'll talk Devin White. So if you need to go, come back. We'll talk about it then. When we come back, Tiger baseball, they hit the road today to take on Tulane. Been a minute since we've talked to Alden Cartwright. We're going to welcome our buddy. We're going to welcome our buddy back to the show next. Stick around. It's AFR.
AFR.
Look, LSU and Tulane tonight, 6 o'clock first pitch. If you need a place to watch, if you don't have ESPN Plus, they got it at Pluckers, either location. Nicholson, just south of campus, or Bluebonnet, right in front of the Mall of Louisiana. Tuesdays, great night to get by either Pluckers location. Kids eat free. So, spring break, maybe the kids are out of school. Maybe they're driving you nuts. Maybe you need a reason to get out of the house. Great opportunity to get by Pluckers tonight because kids eat free tonight and every Tuesday. So, bring the family, get by Pluckers, watch a little LSU Tulane, 6 o'clock first pitch, eat some wings, maybe have an ice cold draft beer. Watch sports on TV. Maybe it's Major League Baseball. You got the NBA play-in starting tonight as well. Great night to get by Pluckers. And, of course, every Tuesday at the Nicholson location is Sports Trivia. Our guy, Hunt Palmer, is hosting 8:30 at the Nicholson locations. Get on by, watch LSU baseball, eat some wings, drink some beer, play some sports trivia, win some Pluckers gift cards. It's Pluckers, where if you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird.
Follow us on Twitter at 1045ESPN to cast your vote in the Citizens Bank and Trust poll of the day. Vote daily inside Off the Bench, anytime. Hunt Palmer. And after further review, Citizens Bank and Trust brings you the poll of the day via Twitter at 1045ESPN.
Each year, Guarantee Media hosts a radiothon to benefit Dreams Come True, the local organization that grants dreams to Louisiana kids suffering life-threatening illnesses and their families. We've interviewed these incredible kids, and their stories warm our hearts. And none of it would be possible without your help. So we're asking for your support in our effort to making more dreams come true. Each year, our Dreams Come True radiothon is powered by the Baton Rouge Clinic. Visit GuaranteeMedia.com to pledge your support today, and thank you.
Hey, what's up, y'all? It's that time again. It's heating up. Your boat's getting ready to come out and spend all summer on the water. It's time to take your boat to the next level with front-to-back boat service, where if you want an incredible custom speaker install, it's going to blow people away in the water, that's there for you. You want an HD sonar where you can see the fish under the water before you cast, beat all your friends, that's there for you at front-to-back boat service. So don't put it off. We got the parts in right now. Get them now before they go back on back order. Front-to-back boat service.
Clash of the Cooks Jambalaya Showdown is back.
Join us on Saturday, April 22nd
at the Ochsner Medical Complex at The Grove. We've got cooking teams of pros and joes serving up their best jambalaya and Cajun Creole dishes, all while helping raise dough for local families battling cancer. Bring the whole family for great food, live tunes, and good times. Clash of the Cooks Jambalaya Showdown, presented by Ochsner.
Saturday, April 22nd at lunchtime. Help us paddle it forward. For tickets and more information, go to clashofthecooks.com.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded.
After further review with Matt Moscona, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
Yeah, no, they're fine. They're the best team I've ever seen with that record. Like, they probably played too tough a schedule, to be honest with you. And they have good players, and they're really well coached. I mean, Jay Ullman was at Oregon while I was at Arizona. I mean, he played at Nevada. I coached at Nevada, so I've known him for a long time. Justin Bridgman, their assistant coach, one of my former players at Nevada. So they'll be fine. Like that. If we win, I'm gonna walk out of there feeling like it's a good win.
That's Jay Johnson talking about Tulane. Tulane's 9-23. In fairness, they did lose 3 games at Irvine. They played at Cal State Fullerton. They lost 2 out of 3 against St. John's. That was at home. They lost a home game to South Alabama. They lost to UNO. They went out west and played the Los Angeles Classic. Lost to UCLA. Lost to USC. Beat Sacramento State. They lost 2 games at home to Campbell. Campbell's ranked, though. Lost 2 out of 3 to Penn. I'm going to guess Penn's not great. Maybe good. Maybe not.
Only lost 1-0 against South Carolina in a 2-gamer.
I'm getting there.
Penn's decent.
Okay. If I'm going to talk about an Ivy League school coming to Tulane, a 9-23 team, how about Tulane getting swept at Hawaii? Come on, y'all. Like, when you have to say they're the best team I've ever seen with that record, that's a little bit of a weird qualifier. The close game against South Carolina notwithstanding, Muse, for Penn. The transitive property need not apply here. All right, let's talk to our guy. It's been a minute. Alden Cartwright.
Cartwright
Joins us now. How are you, dude?
What's up, guys?
Our life not as good as yours. Cartwright's joining us from the beach, from a balcony overlooking a beautiful sandy beach right now in April, because it's good to be Alden Cartwright.
Today's one of those days that we're randomly better than the rest of the population, but it doesn't last very long. And you got to go back on Friday.
You know what else, Cartwright? I'm looking at the picture Paul is using for you now. We used to have a picture of you in your LSU baseball digs. This is some like bearded, parted hair, like professional photo shoot, like you're the third grade teacher on the first day of school. That's what this looks like. What is this
glasses
picture?
Glasses or no glasses?
No glasses.
Ooh, that's from 2017. I have a new headshot. So we should update that one.
Let's go.
That's like 20 pounds lighter, still in kind of shape. But now I got a kid just so I can have the dad bod. So now we're all good, right?
It's you're official. It's legitimate dad bod is what it is now.
Yeah, it's qualified.
Hey, man, look, I know you're still locked into the team. Give me your thoughts. I want just a general thought right now on the state of the pitching staff with your days 2 and 3 starters struggling and the injuries as well.
Look, man, to watch Paul Skeens on Friday night or Thursday, open night of the series, it's exciting. Everything after that's not very exciting. It drops off. I mean, they still have some quality arms, but honestly, some of these injuries that are happening, I think is kind of one of the best things that can happen to them, because they've got to start rolling out other guys to get innings to figure out who can pitch. And you saw what happened with Gavin, right? And so, they got some ways to go, but they have the team to do it.
So I get that, right? I mean, it's forcing you to find other guys, but you have like a fall and a preseason to identify which guys you want to roll with, and they had kind of done that. And guys like Chase Shores and Garrett Edwards now are on the shelf. Obviously, they were counting on Thatcher Hurd and Ty Floyd to be big parts of this team, and they faltered. Let me ask about Floyd and Hurd. How realistic is it to think those guys can get the train back on the track?
If they can get it between the ears and throw strikes, a very good shot, right? Most of the times where they get into trouble is when they're falling behind and walking guys. I don't care if you throw 102 or 82. If you don't throw it across that 17-inch white thing, you're going to have trouble, And that's basically what they're facing. They're falling behind. If you watch a lot of stats, right, first pitch strike, getting hitters out, 4 pitches or less, staying ahead in the counts, good things happen, right? You have an incredible defense. Throw strikes, right? But we're walking guys, which is just, I don't want to bang my head to a wall.
What's a week like for, and obviously, Wes Johnson, the pitching coach now, you didn't play for him, but what would a week be like for those guys, for Floyd, for Hurd, where the stuff is good, the command isn't? What are you working like? How do you work on your command during the week?
So it's really getting laser focused in your really, everyday throwing. Every throw matters, right? And so aim small, miss small, that's kind of a military term, but it applies a lot in baseball. So when you're very intentional, and so if you're just aiming at the catcher, right, the big dude that, Brady Neal's not that big, but he's big enough, right? And so you're looking at him. If you hit around him, you're doing all right. But a lot of times when you're watching a catcher, watching a pitcher pitch, I don't care who's on the mound. If you just watch where the mid is and see how much it moves, if he's on or not. And so if you take that same approach to every day is a game-like setting, right? Your flat grounds that you're doing, your lead-ups, your 1 or 2 flat, small pins during the week. If you're very intentional with every pitch matters, that's how you get good. Kind of like, how do you throw hard? Throw hard, right? Throw hard all the time and be intentional with the locations, right? I'd much rather 92 at the knees and low than 95 above the knees and kind of over the plate.
Yeah. Alden Cartwright is with us.
Cartwright?
All right, so we know who's faltering right now. And obviously there's injuries with Shores and Edwards, so let's assume they're on the shelf for now until Jay tells us more or we see him again. Who are some guys right now in the bullpen that you would identify and see and say, I need more out of those guys?
So, obviously, the highlight of that weekend for me was Gavin Ginter, right? To see, I know people get all funny about I'm going to use nice language, but, the aggressive talk off the mound when you strut your stuff after you clinch that game. You need that out of guys. He's not overpowering, but he's not afraid. That dude will throw any pitch in any count and won't care who's hitting. I don't care who you are. That plays well, right? And so good news is he has some stuff, and he did well, right? So that is an incredible guy. To honestly, kind of reminds me of myself, like someone you kind of bring out.
Yeah, he is.
And like
only he throws 95.
Yeah, that plays a little bit better. You can't miss over the knee, above the knees, Matt. You gotta hide from the bat when you're 89. So he's not afraid, and he's a competitor, and he's fiery. Really like to see him, get more innings, and you get your Saturday guy. Because let's not even talk about Friday, because Paul Skeens is going to get you through at least 7 or 8. And so you just got to figure, bring in somebody that can throw strikes for an inning. You're going to be all right after him. But developing him, and then the what's his number 45 or something, name escaping me. It's harder when you get away from him a little bit. But the lefty
Griffin Herring.
Yeah, that dude is flat out stud, right? He is just coming out of the pen, same type of deal, fiery kid, not overpowering. Good stuff, man. And then it's a shame the guys on the shelf right now. I was impressed with Dutton a little bit out of the bullpen, coming in some tough spots and pitching. I'm not sure. That's the guy they kind of pulled a little bit early, right?
Yeah, Dutton pitched the 4th on Thursday in Game 1, and he threw up a 0, and then after that they went to Micah Bucknam, and that's when everything fell apart.
Right. In that type of game, I'd like to see him expand. See, the only way you're going to know is putting him out there. And, throwing up a 0 against South Carolina in that setting, better than the average American, so put him out there. So those guys are promising.
What about Alden Cartwright's our guest here, talking some LSU baseball. Tigers are at Tulane tonight. So Gendry and Herring are the two that everyone's talking about, that they're excited about, and everybody expects an increased role. But obviously, you're going to have somebody who you're not counting on right now step up. Whether that's Blake Money, you mentioned Sam Dutton, Riley Cooper playing a bigger role. Who are the guys that you would identify and say there's reason to believe that person could give you more than they are right now?
Well, you named the obvious one, Blake Money. That guy has been around for a while, and he's pitched in bigger settings. There's no reason why he can't give you more innings. And Coach Johnson has loved Chris Stapleton for a long time on the mound, and that dude comes out and competes. And there's a lot of names that you see run out there right now that you're not even familiar with, right? Because they're deep. You have to develop 10 or 11 arms that you can really count on, right? So you got your 3 starters and your midweek guy. You'd like to see more out of Christian Little. You'd like to see him kind of dominate a little bit better, but you can't just rely on 4 or 5, Matt. I don't care how good your team is. It's not going to work, right? Imagine when you get into Omaha and, you're playing basically a regional, super regional back, in those several days. You got to have 10 or 11 guys that can go out there and get outs, right? It's not the first 3 that's like putting your stake in the ground on. You win Omaha with the 6th, 7th, and 8th guys that are coming in and getting quality outs. And games like and by the way, I didn't know what you were talking about when I first just got on the radio hearing Jay Johnson talk about that. Talk about South Carolina. It was hell. When you said Tulane 9 wins, get out of here with that stuff. Like, that's a really nice comment, but stop. Like, we don't have to be 9. I mean, we could be respectful, but that's it's Tulane.
It's nice
That's
when guys
got 9 wins.
It's nice when guys are done playing and they can tell you what they actually think.
God, if you don't go kick Tulane in the freaking mouth and just stomp on the throat and twist it and get if we don't beat Musso here in our over and under run rule, it's not a pretty thing.
I think the run rule deals are we've already talked about this. We've already gotten the run rule.
So Musso owes me dinner now?
No. We set it at 11, I think, Cartwright. So
wait, when did you all set an over under?
One day when I was filling in for you, we talked to Cartwright and we set one. I think it was.
You
after
even told
week
Matt
1.
about this?
No, it hadn't come up.
Oh, Matt. So we were sitting there. We were talking. It was crazy out there. Run rule people. I was like, Musso, let's get an over. I was just joking around, and we talked about kind of laugh. I was like, look, Musso, I'll be really generous, but I'll buy you dinner. Let's set it at 11. Over under 11, 10 run rolls. And he's like, okay, cool.
They're at 10. They're at 10 right now.
They're at 10.
They're at 10 right now.
So one more.
And it ties. Then he needs 2 more.
And it ties.
Oh, they're going to get that.
Absolutely.
There's enough midweek games left.
100%.
But when we were most of the season hasn't really. We were a week through, maybe.
Yeah, week through.
God, and we were just laughing about it.
Where's dinner?
I'll let Musso choose, and Matt, you can come with us.
That's a terrible idea. Why would you let the loser choose?
Then
he's just going to take you to McDonald's. That's a terrible idea.
Look, man,
by the way, respect to McDonald's. I love McDonald's. I just mean as far as if I'm winning a bet, I'm breaking the bank. We're going to get a dry-aged ribeye at Rufino's or something like that. Bottle of wine. You know what I mean?
I kind of feel bad though because we kind of joked about it, and now we're here.
This is the problem with the world today. You don't make a bet if your ass can't cash it. All right, Dwayne from Thibodeau. You don't make a bet if you can't cash it. All right.
All right, Musso. I'll come up with a couple restaurants that are at least you're not going to like it, and we're going to have a good time.
Okay.
All right,
and we're going to bring Matt, too.
I'll
cover Matt, and you cover us, too.
All right, I'm coming. All right, we appreciate it, Cartwright. Back to the beach. Thanks for the time.
I'm sorry. All right, I appreciate it, guys.
All right, man. That's Alden Cartwright, former Tiger pitcher, joining us here for a couple of minutes.
Cartwright?
Cartwright, man, loved having Cartwright. He would come on weekly with us. Cartwright blew out in the middle of the season. That was 17, wasn't it? 14, 15... or 16. I think it was 17. Either way. And then so for a couple of so he knew all the players still, knew the coaches, and you could tell he's willing to say whatever. So it was great radio, man. But obviously you go on, you have your professional life and your career and your family and all. So we keep in touch with Cartwright. It's been a minute since we had him on the show. So great to have Alden back. We appreciate a couple of minutes from him. Okay, it's after further review. Let me knock out a quick break. We'll go around the SEC next. Stick around.
AFR.
Brought to you by Darren James and Associates, brokered by eXp Realty. Every home listed by every company, all in one place. Agent225.com. Agent225.com. For Darren James, I got to give a massive shout out to my guy, Darren James. I'm not sure if you saw him. If you're not following Darren on social media, you should be. Well, Darren earlier last week was awarded by eXp Realty an 8th time, an eXp Icon Award winner, the highest designation you could receive in eXp Realty. And why would you expect anything else from Darren James other than the absolute best? When you're on the Wall Street Journal's list of the top 1,000 realtors in America, and you're literally in the top 1% of realtors in the country, it's natural that you would be an 8-time eXp Realty icon. So congrats to our guy, Darren James. If you need to sell your home, call the best. Call Darren James. Get your home sold.
Think real estate, think Darren James.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Bayou Ford has the new inventory to get you in a new Ford truck or SUV today, or customize your next vehicle just the way you want it. All new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a 1 million mile powertrain warranty. The crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
For over a century, local broadcasting has evolved with the needs of the community. We move past the stigmas of opinion journalism and bring the most relevant news online, on air, and on the go. You have trusted us with your news, sports, weather, and entertainment. Trust us to keep moving with you. Text TB to 52886 and tell Congress local broadcasting is here to stay.
Hey there, little buddy. What's the matter?
What's the matter? My windows, siding, and my door. That's what's the matter.
Relief Windows can fix all that. I got you. Pop, pop. What's up?
Oh my gosh, look!
Curb appeal. That's a good-looking neighborhood. ReliefWindows.com.
Hey, what's up, y'all? It's that time again. It's heating up. Your boat's getting ready to come out and spend all summer on the water. It's time to take your boat to the next level with front-to-back boat service, where if you want an incredible custom speaker install, it's going to blow people away in the water, that's there for you. You want an HD sonar where you can see the fish under the water before you cast, beat all your friends, that's there for you at front-to-back boat service. So don't put it off. We got the parts in right now. Get them now before they go back on back order. Front-to-back boat service.
Clash of the Cooks Jambalaya Showdown is back.
Join us on Saturday, April 22nd.
At the Oshner Medical Complex at The Grove. We've got cooking teams of pros and joes serving up their best jambalaya and Cajun Creole dishes, all while helping raise dough for local families battling cancer. Bring the whole family for great food, live tunes, and good times. Clash of the Cooks Jambalaya Showdown presented by Oshner.
Saturday, April 22nd at lunchtime. Help us paddle it forward. For tickets and more information, go to clashofthecooks.com.
All right, let's say ah.
Where'd my spotlight go?
Super.
After further review with Matt Moscona, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
I'm going to go around the SEC here in just a quick second. So I got a text from Andy Kleber, shout out, sent me this just about 15 minutes ago. Apparently, ESPN, of course, SportsCenter does their top 10. The number 2 play on ESPN's top 10 was Julian Kleber out of LSU Alexandria. Muse, you can take the audio of it as well. Let's roll it. Here was the SportsCenter number 2 play.
To make the State Panthers lose, though, 2-1.
Number 2, College Diamond, Our Lady of the Lake against Louisiana State University of Alexandria. LSUA's Julian Kleber.
Kleber.
Long run.
Great play.
LSUA wins 13.
I guess Julian would be the camera was from behind home plate, and so it looked like he was running toward the right field line. So I couldn't tell if he was the right fielder or if he was the second baseman. Let's see. Can we see where he's run from? He's running from right field. Okay, he's running in from right field and makes a diving catch in foul territory, sliding. Great play, man. So shout out Julian Kleber from LSUA making SportsCenter's top 10. F&A for LSUA. A boy. Unfortunately, I don't know who the SportsCenter anchor was, but they said Kleibert.
Yeah, I mean, he butchered the name, but it's to be expected, right?
Yeah. You know, man, honestly, I'm going to be very frank with you here, Muse. No, it's not to be expected.
Okay.
Like, it's not like Cajun or South Louisiana names are new. It's not like we all of a sudden just started putting EAUX and BERT. Like,
fair.
Like, Bobby Hebert played in the NFL 30 years ago. We know it's not Hebert. We know what Hebert is. Kleber, A-Bear.
Yeah.
Like, we know what ERT is. Like, what are we doing? The kid's from Louisiana. Figure it out. And if you don't know,
ask somebody.
if you don't know before when you're writing your scripts at SportsCenter and there's a name you don't know, get the answer, spell it phonetically on the damn teleprompter. This is like day one J school stuff.
Yeah, it's fair. That's
yeah,
fair.
come on. That's not
fair.
acceptable.
He also went with the full LSUA the first time. Louisiana State University at Alexandria.
You know what? I want to
It's
see
aggressive too, for being honest.
I'm going to tell you, here's the other thing I want to know. Like, if I go to LSU Alexandria baseball and if I go to their roster, and see, this is, you know what, sometimes this is just work ethic. You know what I mean? Sometimes this is just work ethic. If I go, look, Kleber makes SportsCenter Top 10. It's the first thing on the webpage. If I go to their roster, I wonder if I go and tap on, let's see. I'm going to find him on here. Let's do this. Julian Kleber, where are you? What number?
He's number
is it?
15.
Oh, jeez. I passed him. My point is, there he is. My point is, if I go to his bio, I wonder if they have, a lot of times they will have a pronunciation guide. And if it's not here on his bio, which they don't have it on here on his bio, you should be able to go to like a media guide for this thing and find a pronunciation guide. And if you can't get that, then email the damn SID. It can't be that hard. You can email the coach, email the kid. It can't be that hard to find out the pronunciation. It's a kid's one shining moment. You screwed up his name.
He's hitting 315.
Good for you,
Pretty
Julian.
solid, man.
Good for you, Julian. Keep on keeping on, man. Don't let those name mispronouncers get you down. All right, we're brought to you by Mold Zero. Don't let them grow mold all over your beautiful moment. Call Mold Zero. That's what they'll do. The proverbial mold that SportsCenter threw on you. They gave you this beautiful top 10 moment. They misspelled your name. You have mold growing up the walls of your mansion. You know how you take care of that? You don't cut the sheetrock out. You don't pull out carpet, all that stuff. You just call Mold Zero. Call my guy Jim Woodworth and the gang over at Mold Zero. They service all of South Louisiana. They got a 225 and a 504 area code phone number, but don't let that fool you. They service all of South Louisiana. So if you got mold and you want to save money, save time, minimal disruption, Mold Zero. Mold-0USA.com. Mold-ZERO-USA.com. And if you need it, you can't remember it, just email me or text me. I'll send you the link or the phone number, all that stuff. Mold-0USA.com. Okay. Man, we're late because you and Cartwright kept talking about your stupid bet that nobody cares about. But that.
Cartwright? You basically just invited yourself. What are you talking about?
Well, it's because Cartwright just derailed the interview, brought you into it to talk about this stupid bet, and then you started going back and forth about it. Then you had to reset the whole thing about how you had him on when I wasn't here or something like that, and all the re-explaining and fan-splaining and everything.
We really lowballed him, too.
Huh?
I said we really lowballed the total as well. 11.
Well, no, it's not bad. I mean, I don't know that I think they'll beat it, but you probably only have a realistic well, you could do it. You could do it in league games. Yeah.
You already run with Arkansas.
Yeah, you could do it in league games. I was just looking at the midweek. I'm like, any more SWAC opponents? Because that's like
no more SWAC opponents.
No more SWAC opponents. But there are. Tonight's a great opportunity to do it as well. Okay, we're late. Let's go around the SEC.
Around the SEC, presented by Gulf Coast Office Products, excellence in imaging solutions. The Florida Gators.
Florida redshirt freshman offensive lineman David Connor is no longer with the football program. Arrived as a mid-year enrollee in 2022. Thumb injury last season during fall camp, required surgery, cost him the whole season. Now he's leaving Florida. Another blow for Florida's offensive line. Guard Micah Moscona. He had a shoulder injury, and Cameron Waits suffered a torn Achilles. So this is the third lineman now Florida's lost this spring.
The Georgia Bulldogs.
Nigerian Tuggle, a 3-star athlete, has committed to the Georgia Bulldogs. 6'3", 199. He's a receiver. 4.49 speed in the 40. Big kid to run that fast. He's out of the state of Indiana. He's the 12th commitment for Georgia's 2024 class. The third receiver prospect. Chose Georgia over Auburn, Cincinnati, Colorado, Florida, Michigan, Michigan State, Oregon, Penn State, and TAMU, and others.
Texas A&M!
Hey. Andre Mills is committed to the Aggies. National top 150 guard chose the Aggies over Iowa and Temple. Those were his three finalists. 2024 class has Mills and Rob Dockery right now. Dockery is the number 59 overall prospect in the country. He's a small forward. Mills is the number 129 overall prospect in the country, the 25th best shooting guard.
The South Carolina Gamecocks.
And WNBA history for the Gamecocks. 5 former Gamecocks taken in one draft last night. Of course, Aaliyah Boston was the first overall pick of the Indiana Fever. Forward Letitia Amire was number 8 overall. Zia Cook went 10th, 2 picks later. In round 2, Bria Beal went 24, and then her teammate Victoria Saxon a pick after that at number 25 overall. Boston, of course, 2-time National Player of the Year, started all 138 games in her Gamecock career. All right, there you have it. That is Around the SEC, presented by Gulf Coast Office Products. Shout out to our guy Trey Beal and our friends at Gulf Coast Office Products, online at gcopnet.com. gcopnet.com for Gulf Coast Office Products. Face-to-face sales service after the sale. That's what you always get at Gulf Coast Office Products. Official office equipment provider, the LSU Tigers, New Orleans Saints, New Orleans Pelicans, and ULL Raging Cajuns. Busy night on the Diamond tonight in the SEC. Florida hosts Florida State. Tennessee hosts Eastern Kentucky. Georgia hosts Clemson. Auburn is at Georgia Tech. The game's in Atlanta. Alabama hosts Southern Miss. Vandy is at home against North Alabama. Mississippi State heads to Birmingham to take on UAB. As we know, LSU plays Tulane tonight. Texas A&M against UTSA. South Carolina hosts SC Upstate. Big-time ranked matchup. Number 12, Louisville. Oh, this is postponed. My apologies. Kentucky was supposed to head to Louisville tonight. The game's postponed. Missouri is at Missouri State. Ole Miss hosts Memphis and Arkansas. And Arkansas hosts Little Rock in Fayetteville, Arkansas. All right, y'all. It's after further review. Final break here of hour number 1. Talking Devin White. He's requested a transfer. No, he hasn't. He's requested a trade from the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Slow down, son. Just get through it. He's requested a trade. We'll get to that in about 15 minutes. We'll wrap up hour number 1 next.
AFR.
AFR is brought to you by Rouse's, the official supermarket of the New Orleans Saints. Easter's gone, but spring is still here, and that means it's still a great time to get by Rouse's and get your crawfish, y'all. Go to Rouse's.com. Rouse's.com. Of course, Louisiana crawfish live and boiled. You can call ahead to place your order. Or if you want to pick up boiled crawfish tonight for dinner, just walk on in. Go to Rouse's, walk in, go to the left. You'll see the seafood department. There's a hot and boiled kiosk. Just grab your crawfish already there, bagged and tagged, ready to roll. It's at Rouse's, official supermarket of the New Orleans Saints. Of course, if you want fried seafood, they got you covered. If it's that fried catfish or fried shrimp, those platters, they got you covered. If you need all of your groceries or great beverages, either locally brewed or from anywhere in the world, Rouse's is the place to go. Rouse's, where they always say this feels like home because there's a Rouse's near you with more than 60 locations. Find that Rouse's nearest you today at Rouse's.com. Rouse's.com.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Each year, Guarantee Media hosts a radiothon to benefit Dreams Come True, the local organization that grants dreams to Louisiana kids suffering life-threatening illnesses and their families. We've interviewed these incredible kids, and their stories warm our hearts. And none of it would be possible without your help. So we're asking for your support in our effort to making more dreams come true. Each year, our Dreams Come True radiothon is powered by the Baton Rouge Clinic. Visit GuaranteeMedia.com to pledge your support today, and thank you.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Hi, I'm Brandon Landry, founder and CEO of Walker.
Hi, my name is Dr. Craig Green.
This is Ryan Terrio with HUDCORoofing.com.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. No matter how big your commercial roofing job, HUDCO can help.
My patients come to me because they trust that I can get the job done at a high level. Ryan Terrio and Richard Tilley have the same level of trust when it comes to roofing.
If you have a roofing issue, call HUDCO Roofing.
Give us a call, 364-1007, and we'll come to your house and give you a free inspection.
After further review with Matt Moscona, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
If you were here yesterday at this very moment, we played the SNL Weekend Update skit where Punky Johnson, New Orleans native, Nichols alum, shout out Punky Johnson, played Angel Reese. And I'm only bringing this up again because I continue to be amazed by how many of you don't get it. I clipped that, posted it on social media Saturday night. I happened to be watching it. And I'm reading the comments, and there's so many people that are like, how dare they make fun of that girl, the young girl. Like, this isn't Dave Portnoy or Keith Olbermann F-bombing Angel Reese. This is literally brand awareness that you can't buy. That's incredible that 6 days after the game, they reset the news cycle, and you have someone wearing an LSU women's basketball jersey on on national TV, on SNL. I saw this today. So again, for those of you who don't get it, this is a better illustration. On3 Sports, which has their NIL valuation page, reports that Angel Reese now has an On3 NIL valuation of $1.3 million. Angel Reese has gained over 2 million followers across her social media platforms since the beginning of March Madness. Angel Reese, now the highest projected earner in all of women's college basketball. Don't be mad at SNL. Angel Reese should be thanking SNL. Not that that's the sole reason, of course, but just the bigger picture is that Angel Reese has taken advantage of her moment. She had that viral moment and has now put herself in a position, thanks to the NIL culture that exists, to be able to capitalize. Again, the On3 NIL valuation at $1.3 million, that ranks her 13th in all of college athletics. In the NIL 100, all NIL eligible athletes, she's 13th overall and number one in women's college basketball. Y'all, that is an incredible statement. You would literally only be talking prior to that about the Cavender twins. If you look at the NIL top 100, here they are. Number one is Bronny James. Number two, Arch Manning. Livy Dunn is 3. Mikey Williams is 4. Caleb Williams, Heisman Trophy winner, 5. Travis Hunter, formerly of Jackson State, now Colorado, 6. Shadur Sanders, Colorado, 7. Drake May, Bo Nix, Hansel Emmanuel, Suni Lee, Olympic gold medalist Suni Lee, 11. Marvin Harrison Jr., and then Angel Reese. Like, that's your list. Angel Reese is ahead of Michael Penix Jr., Nico, the guy from Tennessee. My goodness, Jordan Travis. Literally every other player. Sam Hartman, the Notre Dame quarterback. Shaquille O'Neal. Spencer Rattler. The Cavender twins. Y'all, like, do you understand how massive this is, the moment that Angel Reese had and how it's catapulted her? Like, for me, this is a great symbolic moment of why NIL is so impactful and why it's so important and so needed. Angel Reese had this viral moment, and now she's able to capitalize on it. She has grown the brand awareness for LSU, LSU athletics, LSU's women's sports, the university, dramatically over the last 10 days. And now she can capitalize on it as well. So I'm pumped about it. Congrats to Angel Reese. That's awesome. And stop being mad at SNL. That's a great thing for LSU, for Angel Reese, for all of it. It introduced so many more people to LSU. You put those 3 letters on national TV, it matters a lot. So congrats. Okay. And also congrats, of course, to Alexis Morris, who was taken 25th overall in, 22nd overall in the WNBA draft last night. So congrats to Alexis Morris on taking the next step in her career with a great night last night in the WNBA draft. Also, I'm not sure if you saw it, but Alexis Morris wore her grandfather's tuxedo to the draft, which was pretty cool to see if you missed it. So congrats to Alexis Morris. All right, it's after further review. Here we go. Hour number 2. We're talking Devin White after SportsCenter.
AFR.
I'm Chris Nakamoto, and here's what I'm working on for my stories on WBRZ Channel 2 tonight. All 5 law enforcement officers implicated in the death and cover-up of Ronald Green entered not guilty pleas today in a North Louisiana courtroom. The WBRZ investigative unit exposed the cover-up at state police tied to his beating death, which led to a complete overhaul at state police in terms of leadership and policies. Find out what's next for those officers. I'm Chris Nakamoto from WBRZ. Watch more tonight on WBRZ Channel 2.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Hello, Samantha, dear, I hope you're feeling fine. And it won't be long until I'm with you all the time. But until then, I spend my money up right down on my last dime. Come on, in Baton Rouge. I'm ready, what you put me on through. Gotta send my love down to
Hey there, little buddy. What's the matter?
What's the matter? My windows, siding, and my door. That's what's the matter.
Relief Windows can fix all of that. I got you. Pop, pop. What's up?
Oh my gosh, look!
Curb appeal. That's a good-looking neighborhood. ReliefWindows.com.
Hey, what's up, y'all? It's that time again. It's heating up. Your boat's getting ready to come out and spend all summer on the water. It's time to take your boat to the next level with front-to-back boat service, where if you want an incredible custom speaker install, it's going to blow people away in the water, that's there for you. You want an HD sonar where you can see the fish under the water before you cast, beat all your friends, that's there for you at front-to-back boat service. So don't put it off. We got the parts in right now. Get them now before they go back on back order. Front-to-back boat service.
Center.
I'm Christine Lisi. Another offseason defensive addition for the Falcons. They're acquiring cornerback Jeff Okudah from the Lions for a fifth-round pick in this year's NFL Draft, reports ESPN's Adam Schefter and Field Yates. The move is good for Okudah, the third overall pick in 2020, as well as Atlanta, believes Fitz and Harry co-host Harry Douglas.
Look at their secondary. They have A.J. Terrell, a young, phenomenal corner. They signed Jesse Bates, the third, from the safety position. They had Casey Hayward. Now you add a third guy in Jeff Okudah. And sometimes, guys, it's just the important factor that guys need a fresh start somewhere else, right? Jeff Okudah, he's plagued by injuries in Detroit, couldn't quite get things going. He's going to have that fresh start.
Jesse Bates III and Calais Campbell among the other defensive players brought in by the Falcons this offseason. NBA Pelicans forward Zion Williamson told reporters today he's feeling fine physically and will return to the court when he feels like himself. He's been out since January 2nd with a hamstring strain. New Orleans plays the Thunder tomorrow in the West play-in, with the winner facing the loser of tonight's Lakers-Timberwolves play-in matchup. White Sox shortstop Tim Anderson out 2 to 4 weeks with a sprained left knee.
Coming up Wednesday, so which position group outside the quarterbacks will have the biggest impact their rookie year? I'll give you my answer. Keyshawn, J. Will, and Max, 6 a.m. Eastern on ESPN Radio, ESPN2, ESPNU.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studios.
That's right.
Hour 2, off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us, AFR. I'm Matt.
Love you, Matt.
Paul O'Neill.
They're chanting Paul O'Neill's name.
Yusu. And Mr. Toby Tomplay. All right, we're here. Glad you are as well. Get out there and make it a good one. Fired up. LSU baseball tonight. By the way, as we were going to the top of the hour there, my apologies. We got just pinched against the top of the hour. Congrats to LaDasia Williams, went 17 overall. And of course, Alexis Morris went 22 overall. So 2 LSU women's basketball players, national champions, taken in the second round of the WNBA draft last night. So hats off, ladies. Good luck in the future. Of course, a lot of people are going to be following. I mean, first ever to climb that mountain, plant the flag atop women's college basketball. You have a place forever in people's hearts here. So those two always will. All right. I am so fired up about this. Earlier today, sitting at my desk, and I see this tweet from Jenna Lane, Jenna Lane, ESPN Bucks reporter, been a good friend of the show over a lot of years. And she had this tweet about a former LSU Tiger. Got me doing backflips. Jenna Lane tweeted, this is at 1 o'clock Central Time. 2 sources have told me Bucks inside linebacker Devin White has requested a trade. She notes, story coming. And then, after that, a short time later, if you even were to doubt the validity of Jenna Lane's sources, because she's awesome, Shefty popped off and said on Twitter, Bucks Pro Bowl linebacker Devin White has, in fact, requested a trade, as Jenna Lane reported. Bucks do not want to trade him, but he wants to be traded, and he's coming up on his 5th-year option. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, I submit we're nearing the end of one of the greatest heel turns ever. Thank God. Muse, are you with me on this? Paulie, are you with me on this?
In getting Devin White away from Tampa Bay? Absolutely, I'm with you on that.
I love it.
Seldom, if ever, have I loved a player so much only to later despise him. That's where I am with Devin White. How many times during Tigers and the Pros would you talk about Devin White and I would curse under my breath?
A lot.
I mean, this man...
Just about every time, actually.
This man is a Louisiana native.
Yep.
He's the 2018 Butkus Award winner as the best linebacker in college football. Do you remember how incensed we all were when Devin White got flagged for targeting? Was it Nick Fitzgerald? Was that the quarterback for Mississippi State at the time? When he, for targeting against Fitzgerald, cost him the first half of the Alabama game. Now, it wasn't going to matter because LSU got skunked. And they got shut out. It wasn't going to matter no way. But anyway.
Free Devin White.
Free Devin White.
Free Devin White.
Devin White riding horses in Tiger Stadium. People wept here when his horse Daisy May died, right? I mean, one of the coolest moments ever. Devin White, this big, surly, burly, amazing linebacker, Butkus Award-winning linebacker, riding his horse. Who else? Who else? Tell me who else, Muse. Who else could get away with riding a horse, an equine animal, on the field at Tiger Stadium? If you're not if you're maybe a horseback police officer, and Devin White. That's it.
Short list, for sure.
That's it. He's beloved. And then draft night 2019 comes along, and this happened.
With the 5th pick in the 2019 NFL Draft, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers select Devin White, linebacker, LSU.
I mean, you had to feel good for the guy. The 5th overall pick, untold riches. He was certainly deserving of the honor.
Oh, for sure.
But he goes in the division to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Now you got to see him twice a year. And we've seen it before. Deion Jones went to Atlanta. We saw Duke Riley in Atlanta. We saw Russell Gates. Like, we've seen it. We've seen it before. But, like, Devin White became this enormous thorn in the Saints' side. The final game Drew Brees would ever play, it was Devin White who put the nail in his coffin.
You see the total yards in the game, 2nd and 8. Brees throws, and he's picked by Devin White. Another turnover, and White picks his way down the sideline.
I mean, the last image we have of Drew Brees in a Saints uniform is walking in the tunnel, looking longingly back at a quarter-filled Superdome during the stupid COVID shutdowns. And Devin White was a giant. Now, Jared Cook. I mean, bleep Jared Cook. He was, I mean, bleep Jared Cook.
Let's not go there. Let's not
bleep
go
Jared.
there.
I went there. Bleep Jared. My show, I went there. Bleep Jared Cook. If I get the opportunity to bleep Jared Cook, I'm bleeping Jared Cook. Bleep him. But bleep Devin White as well. And then you know what else? The next year comes along. We know Drew Brees retires. The Saints, they bring in, they had brought in Jameis Winston. He's starting. The Saints are off to a 5-2 start. Jameis had like 17 touchdowns and 2 picks. He was doing great. Was it 17? Was it 12? Somebody, Jameis was doing great. Saints are 5-2. It's Halloween. They're wearing the Color Rush unis. They look awesome. They look fire. And then Devin White does this.
He's in trouble here. He steps away, keeps it alive, and takes off. Hog-tied by Devin White. A flag flies. And Winston limping. And now goes down.
Devin White horse-collared him, tore his ACL. And dare I say, the Saints have not been the same since that moment. Is that? I mean, that's fair to say.
More than fair.
I mean,
more than fair.
What if Devin White don't do Jameis dirty like that? What if Devin White is a clean tackle and Jameis plays the rest of the season? Maybe Jameis is still the starter. Maybe the Saints are a playoff team. Maybe they rolling right now. Instead, he twists up Jameis's knee, and I've cursed that man ever since. And I hate it because I loved him. And then I hated him. I mean, biggest heel turn since what? Since Nick Saban?
Strong.
Ricky Jackson going to the 49ers? I mean, I love Devin White like I loved Will Smith before he slapped the hell out of Chris Rock. Yeah. That's what this is. I'm so excited. Get him out of Tampa. Get him. Go to Cleveland. Go to Buffalo. Go to Houston.
Cincinnati.
Go to Cincinnati. I don't care where he goes.
Go play with Joey B.
Just don't go to Atlanta or Carolina. Okay. My guess is Tampa ain't going to trade him in the division.
Nah.
But get far away from here so I can love you again. Please, let me watch you play. Get live, 40. Get live, 40. You can a short list of greatest defensive players in the history of LSU football. Let me love you again. Get away from Tampa. Go be great. Let me admire the rest of your professional career on the way to the Pro Football Hall of Fame. Devin White, once out of Tampa. They're going to trade him too. They have to trade him. Devin White just finished his he's entering his 5th season. So this is his 5th-year option season. So if you're Tampa and you don't trade Devin White, and Devin White said, the quote that Jenna Lane had from one of her sources was that Devin White has grown increasingly frustrated with the team and is, quote, fed up. They're tanking. They are rebuilding. Tampa is in a full-on tear-down rebuild mode. They're going to roll into this season. Who they got at quarterback again?
Kyle Trask.
And who else?
Baker Mayfield.
Yeah. They're tanking. They're trying to end up with the first pick in the draft next year so they can draft Caleb Williams or Drake May, maybe Michael Penix. We'll see how it all plays. Like, that's what they're trying to do. Respect. That's what I wish the Saints would have done. Carolina trade up to get the number 1 pick. I get it. I get what you're trying to do. I get it. Respect. But if you're Devin White, you don't want to hang around for the rebuild. Okay. You only get so many years in your prime. Go get it. I understand. But if you're Tampa, like, the thing you can't do is be stubborn, hold on to Devin White, and then let him sign somewhere else as an unrestricted free agent after this season. Now, you could franchise tag him after this season, but what are you going to do? Just piss off Devin White even further? Make him not want to play for you? Have your superstar player be a bad locker room guy, demanding a trade publicly, sitting out and can't? Whatever. I mean, do you want that? I don't think so. I mean, if you're Tampa, you've got to trade Devin White. In his prime, one of the best linebackers in football. Go get a king's ransom for him. Go get a first-round pick. Go get a 1 and a 3, whatever you're going to get for him. Go get a king's ransom for Devin White from some team and use the assets to start your rebuild after you tank this year. I mean, if I'm Tampa and I know I'm in a tear-down rebuild, I'm over the moon. Great. I can trade Devin White. And we don't look like we're tanking because he's the one who said he wanted out. What option has he left you? Devin White getting out of Tampa. Thank God. The day they consummate a trade to get him out of there, and if you're Tampa, you're not trading him in the division. I mean, everyone's like, "Say, should the Saints trade for Tampa?" Yeah, they should trade for Devin White. Tampa ain't trading Devin White to the Saints. Yeah, I'm going to give him to New Orleans so he can beat us. Come on. All right. I'm fired up about it. Normally on Tuesdays, we visit with Feinswag. I texted Lee earlier. I was like, hey, man, you good for the show? He said, no. On a plane that's 5 hours late, we're waiting to take off. This was right before we start the show. But, he notes, he's in Boston, by the way. His son lives in the Boston area. He said, a guy here in the terminal in Boston recognized my voice from your show. He's from Port Allen and likes beer. What are the chances that some schmo is at the Boston airport and hears Lee Feinswag talking and going, that's the beer guy from Scone's show I listened to. By the way, I didn't mean to call the guy a schmo. I mean, I did because I used those words. But he's probably awesome because he listens to the show. So, respect.
You know, obviously, those odds are pretty good because it happened.
I don't think the odds are good.
I mean, it happened.
Being struck by lightning happens. It doesn't mean the odds are good.
Oh, they were for that one person.
Not great odds. They overcame the odds.
Oh.
He also
Overcame's
said,
a bold statement when it involves lightning. Feels pretty painful.
That's true. Winning the lottery.
There you go.
Okay.
That's overcoming the odds.
Drank some amazing, incredible New England beer, including my first heady topper.
Okay.
Well, I guess we've got some stuff to talk about with Lee next week when he's here. Heady Topper Beers and the Port Allenian, the Port Allenite. Probably the Port Allenite.
That sounds a lot better than Port Allen.
Yeah.
Alien?
The Port Alien.
The Port Alien.
If you're from, what do people from Port Allen call themselves?
That's a poll question right there.
Port Allians. Port Allenites. Port Allenite.
That's strong.
Got to be. Get Peter Burns on the line. He's from Port Allen.
He's from Port Allen.
Let's ask Peter Burns. Okay, we're going to find out from when we come back. Instead of talking to Lee, we're going to call Peter Burns to find out what people from Port Allen call themselves. It's AFR.
AFR.
AFR is brought to you by New Orleans Flooring with 2 locations right there on Airline Highway in Prairieville, and of course their Metairie location, hence New Orleans Flooring. You can always go to NOLAflooring.com. That's NOLAflooring.com if you want to find out more. We tell you all the time, as much as 40% cheaper than other competitors. They cut out the freight charges. They cut out all the different touch points from manufacturer to supplier and wholesaler. They just go straight to you, which is how you're able to save so much money. Listen, I get it. Like, we're in a recession. People shop price. So if you're looking for the best price and a great experience, you go to New Orleans Flooring. I don't know why you would go anywhere else. It's why installers and home builders and remodelers and investors and flippers and property managers and remediation companies, they all use New Orleans Flooring because it's about the bottom line. So if you're a residential homeowner, why would you be any different? Go to NOLAflooring.com or visit either of the 2 locations of New Orleans Flooring. Again, online, NOLAflooring.com.
Follow us on Twitter at 1045ESPN to cast your vote in the Citizens Bank and Trust poll of the day. Vote daily inside off the bench, anytime. Hunt Palmer. And after further review, Citizens Bank and Trust brings you the poll of the day via Twitter at 1045ESPN.
At Corval Toyota in Opelousas, you can get 3.99% financing on select 2023 models. And we also have a large selection of pre-owned inventory. So come on down to Happy Town. That's Corval Toyota in Opelousas, Happy Town, USA.
For over a century, local broadcasting has evolved with the needs of the community. We move past the stigmas of opinion journalism and bring the most relevant news online, on air, and on the go. You have trusted us with your news, sports, weather, and entertainment. Trust us to keep moving with you. Text TB to 52886 and tell Congress local broadcasting is here to stay.
Clash of the Cooks Jambalaya Showdown is back.
Join us on Saturday, April 22nd
at the Ochsner Medical Complex at The Grove. We've got cooking teams of pros and joes serving up their best jambalaya and Cajun Creole dishes, all while helping raise dough for local families battling cancer. Bring the whole family for great food, live tunes, and good times. Clash of the Cooks Jambalaya Showdown, presented by Ochsner.
Saturday, April 22nd at lunchtime. Help us paddle it forward. For tickets and more information, go to clashofthecooks.com.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated.
After further review with Matt Moscona, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
Okay, Muse, do you have Peter's number? Okay, call Peter Burns. I want to do this live on air. Okay. Normally, Lee Feinswag is with us right now. But Lee is flying home from Boston. Flight is 5 hours delayed, so he's in the air. He's supposed to already be in Baton Rouge. He's in the air. But he said he's at the airport in Boston, and you got to dial a 9 to get out. Yeah, got it. Okay. Sorry, Muse. First day on the job, Muse? Oh, my God. Muse, how did you screw that? Anyway, so there's a guy at the Boston airport from Port Allen, recognized Lee's voice, loves the show, loves Lee, loves beer, all that sort of stuff. So I'm trying to figure out what do people from Port Allen call themselves. So we're asking the most famous Port Allener ever. Okay, Peter Scone, how are you?
What's up, dude?
Okay, you're live on the air. We just we did old morning zoo radio trick here. Just cold called you live on the air. How are you?
I'm working my fat ass out right now at the gym.
Love it.
So yeah, that's it. How are you?
Buys and shrugs, bicep curls, shrugs, all that good stuff. Just all the vanity muscles.
Buys, tries, and goodbyes.
Yeah,
that's what it is.
So good.
Just the beach muscle stuff.
Oh, that's so good. Okay, so really random. Normally in this spot, every week we talk to Lee Feinswag. Don't ask why, we just do. He's supposed to be on right now, but he's in Boston, flying home. Flight got delayed, so he's in the air right now, can't come on. But he texted me and said, hey, a guy in the Boston airport recognized my voice, loves the show, and he's from Port Allen, and he loves beer and all that sort of stuff. So I go, so I said, so Lee's talking to this Port Allenite on air, or Port Allener, Port Alien on it. And I was like, what do people from Port Allen call themselves? So I said, well, let's call the most famous person from Port Allen ever. And so that's why we're calling you. What do people from Port Allen call themselves?
Pelican, maybe? I mean, that's a high school mascot, but I don't even know Port Allen. I feel like I would be a Port Allenite. I feel like that.
Okay.
Like Port Allen or AT Alien doesn't really hit. I think it's a Port Allenite.
Port Allenite.
I'm going to go with Port Allenite.
Okay. Port Allen, Port Allenite, Port Allener.
Oh, Port Allen. No, I think it's a Port Allenite.
Port Allenite.
Like you reside on the other side of the bridge.
Okay. Who is the most, if it's not you, who is the most famous person from Port Allen?
Whoever owns the River Queen. I think the River Queen's still around. So whoever owns the River Queen would be number one in my book.
Okay.
I think that'd be number one.
Okay.
And if the Hubbins family is still around and like Hubbins is still a thing, I'd go like River Queen 1, Hubbins 2, me like 17th.
What about
famous Port Allenite?
What about the mayor or the head football coach?
I'm still going to go with River Queen 1, Hubbins 2.
Okay. All right. Well, that's excellent to know. Have you ever gotten the key to Port Allen?
No, absolutely not. I don't even think they know that I'm from there. Truthfully,
we need to fix this.
Either that, or I don't think they claim me.
No, we're gonna fix this. This is what we're gonna do. That's a new. I have career and life goals. PB. And
this is one of them.
This is now going on. This is now going on to the list. Is to get Peter Burns a key to the city of Port Allen. They need to have Peter Burns Day, and they need to honor you because you wave the banner for all Port Allenites.
See, doesn't it flow? It flows Port Allenites. I'm telling you, it's a thing.
I'm just.
I just want. You know what I want to do? I just want to throw out a first pitch at an LSU game. Like it can be like one of the fall games, like a Tuesday fall game. That's all I want to do. Like that's my life goal as a lifelong Port Allenite. To throw out a pitch at an LSU game.
When can you get down here?
I'm in town on the 25th of April.
Do you realize I've thrown out a pitch at an LSU game? I mean, I don't mean to poo-poo your dreams and all, but like this is a very attainable thing. What did
you hit on the jugs gun? Like 58, 59? Did you top out at 60?
All right, so PB, it's on YouTube. I'll send you the link. And your boy used to pitch, and one thing was for certain: I was not going to bounce it. If anything, it was going to the backstop. And boy, I zoomed it in there. And I came over to back to the dugout, and Maneri says to me, he goes, "Damn, you got any eligibility left?" Swear.
Well, in all fairness, with some of the bullpens that Maneri had, you might have got a look.
Why would you do that?
You might have got a look.
Oh, man.
By the way, did you throw off the mound? Did you throw off?
Of course, from the rubber.
Okay.
What are we talking about? Of course, I went full windup. I had a glove, Peter. Like I literally. So Mason Katz was a freshman bullpen catcher that year. This was, I think, 2010 or 2011. And Mason Katz and I were warming up in front of the dugout because I'm like, bro, I'm telling you, like, I'm throwing this pitch, so be ready. So I had to get loose. And so I wore Mason Katz's glove, and I went to the bump, and I zoomed it in there. Zoom it in there, Henry. Zoom it. That's what I did. By the way,
Moscona, real quick, you mean to tell me you told a collegiate catcher that he needed to be ready for the sauce that you were going to bring? Is that really a conversation you had?
Absolutely, because I didn't want him to think I was like, some old lady that was going to come up there and just underhanded or lob it. I'm like, I'm going to throw this thing, so don't let it go to the backstop. Like, be ready. Here it comes. Not that he was going to have trouble handling it, just so he knew, like, this isn't going to be a rainbow lob. Like, it's coming, all right? Last thing I needed was Mason Katz wearing one on the ear.
So yesterday was yesterday was my birthday. Okay, so April 10th was my birthday.
Oh, happy birthday!
Thank you. A couple years ago, somebody surprised me, one of my co-hosts, and we had Nolan Ryan on, and it was the day that I was going to throw a first pitch out in San Antonio. And Nolan told me, he goes, if you're ever throwing a first pitch off the mound, try to throw it above the catcher's head. And I go, that makes no sense. And he goes, think about it. He's like, a lot of people aren't used to throwing and seeing the difference between how high the mound is versus where you're landing. So everybody that throws from a mound traditionally ends up skipping it because they're not aware of how big a difference it is from the mound down to the ground.
Mm-hmm.
There you go.
Yeah. That's Nolan Ryan would know. By the way, shout out to the brain, Brian Haldane. Is Tracy Porter more famous than Peter Burns?
Easy. Yeah. I mean, it's River Queen, the guy that owns Hubbins, Tracy Porter.
So Tracy Porter's third.
Yeah.
I gotta find out who else is famous from up or down.
By the way, do you just randomly call people? Like, is this a thing now? Do I need to like screen my calls?
No, no. It's just sometimes, Peter. Look. Here's the thing. You know this. You've done radio long enough. There's strikes and gutters. Sometimes you try things and it works and you make beautiful music, and sometimes you swing and miss and you spin around and land on your tuchus. And this is one that I think we made beautiful music here. But on April 25th, by the way, they play Nichols at the Box.
Uh-oh.
What time are you in?
Trust me, I'll get in like 3 days early, and I'll go sit there with Jay and start learning how to throw something. Like, I'll give him a splitter after. If you give me 3 days to prepare, I'm in.
Okay. All right, let me make a phone call. Wait, hang on. I'm making this note. All right, Tuesday, I'm literally writing this down.
Hey, you want beautiful music? Why don't you call the person you know that can make it happen live on air without them knowing, and that way they'll be like, hell no. And then they throw it all underneath the bus, and then it's just awkward radio, but everybody wins.
I'm going to call Jay Johnson right now. I'll be like, Jay, can we make this happen?
Don't do that. Don't do that.
No, he's on the bus on the way to Tulane. They play. Well, actually, they're probably there. They're playing. He's probably watching his team do BP right now at Turchin. Okay, well, look, get back to your shrugs, your curls. Remember, curls get the girls, so do well with that. And I'm going to make this happen. I'm going to do my damnedest to make this happen. Tuesday, April 25th, LSU Nichols, Peter Burns at the Box, first pitch. Let's make this damn thing happen.
I'm going to start picking up on random phone calls going forward. You never know. My life just got better because of it.
There you go, man. Thank you for answering the phone. It's because it came from a 225. You know, it was probably someone you knew. That's why.
I thought it was, somebody asking for bail money of my family that I needed to go get them out. But the fact that it was you makes it not that much better.
No.
Okay, love you.
Well, Peter, the next time we talk, we'll talk about sports, but maybe not.
Yeah, overrated.
Yeah, this was better. This was better. Okay, enjoy your workout. Thank you.
Bye.
All right, we'll see you later. That's Peter Burns. I'm dead serious. I want to make that happen. So Peter Burns, April 25th, in Baton Rouge, LSU against Nichols. Yeah, we could do this. We can make this happen. I know the game day people over there. It's Peter, right? I mean, it's PB. Peter Burns pimps LSU on SEC Network and ESPN platforms all year round. Why wouldn't they welcome home Peter Burns of the SEC Network and let him trot out there and throw a first pitch?
I mean, I don't see any good reason to say no to that. Yeah.
Let's go. Let's go. You going to go to that game on the 25th?
Yeah, of course.
If PB is there, throwing out the first pitch, I'll go.
Okay.
I'll go. I don't usually make midweek games.
You don't?
Nope, I don't.
You don't? Why? You don't? You're not a big midweek game guy?
Well, midweek games don't matter.
Oh, okay.
Number one. But primarily because, and I watch them all.
Yeah.
I want to watch the team. But it just, I go home and spend time with my family. Work a lot. And so if I could do my job from home, I'm going to do that.
I respect that.
And mostly because, they give all the sweet tickets to clients and everything, and there's no way I'm going without a sweet ticket. Let's be really serious. What are you talking about? All right, it's AFR. We'll knock out a quick break. When we come back, we'll let you hear from Jay Johnson. Gave an update on Javen Coleman. I want to get to that. A lot more. I want you to hear from Brian Kelly as well, who met with the media earlier today. So we'll get to all of that as we continue. Glad you're here. It's AFR.
AFR.
AFR is brought to you by the Watermark and the Renaissance, two amazing properties in Baton Rouge. The Watermark Hotel in downtown Baton Rouge, the Renaissance Hotel, as they call it, Southtown, which is on Bluebonnet, right near I-10. Amazing properties with a great restaurant in each one of them. If you're downtown at the Watermark, make plans to stop into the Gregory. The Gregory is amazing. It's fine dining in downtown Baton Rouge. If you're looking to try something different, try the Gregory. You walk into the lobby, the whole bar area always popping after 5 o'clock, people knocking off of work, but the restaurant is divine. Try the duck entree. Just trust me. If you love duck, go to the Gregory, order the duck. It's incredible. And, of course, the Renaissance Hotel right there on Bluebonnet. I've been telling you for weeks and weeks now about Tallulah inside the Renaissance Hotel on Bluebonnet. That lunch meeting, the next time you have it, recommend you go to Tallulah inside the Renaissance Hotel.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Each year, Guarantee Media hosts a radiothon to benefit Dreams Come True, the local organization that grants dreams to Louisiana kids suffering life-threatening illnesses and their families. We've interviewed these incredible kids, and their stories warm our hearts. And none of it would be possible without your help. So we're asking for your support in our effort to making more dreams come true. Each year, our Dreams Come True radiothon is powered by the Baton Rouge Clinic. Visit GuaranteeMedia.com to pledge your support today, and thank you.
Hi, I'm Brandon Landry, founder and CEO of Walk.
Hi, my name is Dr. Craig Green.
This is Ryan Terrio with HUDCORoofing.com.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. No matter how big your commercial roofing job, HUDCO can help.
My patients come to me because they trust that I can get the job done at a high level. Ryan Terrio and Richard Tilley have the same level of trust when it comes to roofing.
If you have a roofing issue, call HUDCO Roofing.
Give us a call, 364-1007, and we'll come to your house and give you a free inspection.
Hey, what's up, y'all? It's that time again. It's heating up. Your boat's getting ready to come out and spend all summer on the water. It's time to take your boat to the next level with front-to-back boat service, where if you want an incredible custom speaker install, it's going to blow people away in the water, that's there for you. You want an HD sonar where you can see the fish under the water before you cast, beat all your friends, that's there for you at front-to-back boat service. So don't put it off. We got the parts in right now. Get them now before they go back on back order. Front-to-back boat service.
Clash of the Cooks Jambalaya Showdown is back. Join us on Saturday, April 22nd at the Ochsner Medical Complex at The Grove. We've got cooking teams of pros and joes serving up their best jambalaya and Cajun Creole dishes, all while helping raise dough for local families battling cancer. Bring the whole family for great food, live tunes, and good times. Clash of the Cooks, Jambalaya Showdown, presented by Oshner.
Saturday, April 22nd at lunchtime. Help us paddle it forward. For tickets and more information, go to clashofthecooks.com.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756.
After further review with Matt Moscona, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
All right, LSU baseball taking on Tulane tonight. 6 o'clock first pitch. It's at Turchin. You can hear it on Eagle 98.1. You can always, of course, watch it on ESPN Plus as well. One of the things that Jay Johnson mentioned on his radio show, while he has been a bit evasive on injuries, and typically is evasive on injuries, which that's his prerogative, as he's not really given updates on Chase Shores and Garrett Edwards. One thing he did say on his radio show Monday night, which, by the way, they moved the radio show up an hour now, so just point of reference, moving forward, if you're looking for the Jay Johnson radio show, it's at 6 o'clock on Mondays now instead of 7 on Eagle 98.1. Jay Johnson talked about Javen Coleman, and we've heard that Javen's throwing. Yesterday, when he met with the media, Jay mentioned that, in no uncertain terms, that actually, can you find that from yesterday earlier in the day with the reporters? Because I want to use the exact cut that Jay said when asked about Javen Coleman. But in no uncertain terms, he said that Javen Coleman will pitch this year. Here you go.
I do think Javen Coleman will pitch this year. I don't know when. We have two benchmarks we have to get past, but it's getting closer. And credit to him. I mean, he's recovered from the Tommy John better than any pitcher that I've ever seen. And there's some ups and downs and ebbs and flows with that, but he's been real disciplined about what he's doing. I don't know when it's going to be and where we're at his effectiveness. I did see him. He went on the trip with us this weekend. Watching him play catch on Saturday, the day we got rained out, it looked normal. Like, I literally was like, you wouldn't know that he was coming off an injury, which is a credit to the work that he's put in.
So a couple things there that Jay said. One, of course, that he thinks that Javen Coleman will pitch this year, just doesn't know when. Said he has come back from Tommy John better than any pitcher he's seen that's had Tommy John, which every baseball coach obviously has seen this plenty. And then there he said, you saw him throw, he said you wouldn't even know the difference. So that was Monday noonish when Jay Johnson met with the media. Monday night, Jay has his radio show and went even further.
With Javen Coleman, real positive update. He actually threw to hitters for the first time today and was really successful day for him. So we kind of have one more hurdle or benchmark that we got to hit, and we'll try to hit that here pretty soon. And then we're excited to get him back in the mix and on the mound and pitching for this team this year. And I know he's chomping at the bit, and we'll be a better team when we can get him out there.
The for Javen Coleman, the numbers, like the ERA, may not pop, but he pitched in some big moments for LSU. Look, as a freshman, his ERA was 5.79. Started twice, threw in 14 games, ended up throwing 32 2/3 innings. But he had more strikeouts than innings pitched. So as a freshman, 43 strikeouts in 32 2/3 innings pitched and walked 18. So the command was there from the left side, and he had strikeout stuff. Last year, before the injury, he only threw in 3 games. Just pitched 6 innings on the season. Had 6 strikeouts, 2 walks. Last year's team was, listen, let's just not mince words, okay? Last year, the pitching staff was deficient. You didn't have a really solid rotation. You started the season with Blake Money's your Friday guy. He lost that gig. You ended up putting Mikhail Hilliard in that spot. You counted so heavily on Riley Cooper and Eric Raiselman as sort of your high leverage guys. and you just didn't have a ton of dudes that you counted on. Javen Coleman at the beginning of last season was your best left-handed arm. Losing him to Tommy John to a UCL injury was a big deal because he would have been a rotation guy. He would have been a weekend rotation guy for you. I don't know, and maybe Coleman is one of the answers in the rotation this year. Yeah, we'll see. They'll have to ramp him up. He threw to live hitters yesterday. They'll have to get him in a game, see how he does, how he comes back from throwing max effort. Can he maintain? Can he then develop his stamina? So all of that is a process, but maybe as LSU searches for the answer on the mound, this could be a great blessing that comes at a time when this team needs it. The other thing I'll tell you is, as much as we have bemoaned some of the struggles, I mean, for a team that's still the consensus number one team in America, but the struggles are legitimate. All of the things we've talked about, Ty Floyd, Thatcher Hurd, their inability to consistently throw strikes, Christian Little, he looked like he was going to be your closer and then really faltered in that role. All the things, injuries to Shores and to Edwards, all those things are very legitimate. I'm not going to minimize those at all. They're very real, and they're very real questions and concerns if you have them. The other thing that I'll point out and continue to point out is you played Texas A&M, who was 11th in the country. Arkansas was ranked 6th. Tennessee, when you played them, was ranked 11th. And South Carolina on the road was ranked 6th. So you've had 2 road series against the 11th and 6th ranked teams in the country and 2 home series against the 6th and 11th ranked teams in the country. This weekend you play Kentucky. After that, you play Ole Miss, who's having a dreadful season. Then you're home against Alabama. You're at Auburn. You're home against Mississippi State. And then you're at Georgia. So your schedule lightens up considerably in the second half of conference play. The first 5 weekends, all against teams ranked in the top 12 in the country. The second half of the schedule, nobody is ranked. As of now, nobody is ranked. So it could be series where you have the opportunity to experiment. It could be a situation where your offense carries you while you figure out spots in the rotation. So maybe all of that plays out in an advantageous way for LSU. So, look, I'll be excited to see Javen Coleman back when they get him back, and it certainly sounds like they're close, and see what role he might play. They need options, and he could be a really good one. All right, it's After Further Review. We're brought to you by Michelli Weighing and Measurement. Michelli.com. You know where to find them. They're online at Michelli.com. For 76 years now, Michelli Weighing and Measurement. If you weigh or measure something, they sell, service, and rent the products you use to weigh and measure. Tell you all the time about Joel McMullen, their president and CEO. Sean McMullen, who works at Michelli, former LSU baseball player in the 2013 Tigers, which were an Omaha team. Sean does great work as one of their reps. So, I mean, you could be calling on Michelli and have Sean McMullen there and talk about some of those great baseball Tigers, and they do so much business face-to-face as well, which is one of the things I love about Michelli. They've been around for 76 years. They've expanded 29 offices in 11 different states, like we talk about all the time, but they love to do business face-to-face. And if you are looking for a career, they're looking for you. Go to Michelli.com, hit the careers tab at the top. You can start a career with an innovative company primed for growth. You can see the jobs that they have available right now, that are open right now, and you can learn more at Michelli.com. It's Michelli Weighing and Measurement, Michelli.com. All right, y'all. It's After Further Review. Coming up after the top of the hour, Brian Kelly met with reporters today after LSU's practice. If you missed it, we started the show with a practice report. You can get that on demand. Of course, AFR On Demand presented by Brett Golf. But Brian Kelly also mentioned the transfer portal, which is about to reopen on Saturday. So the second portal window is about to reopen. What is LSU targeting in the second portal window? We're going to talk about that coming up after the top of the hour. When we come back, though, we'll wrap up hour number 2. You shall have Tigers in the Pros. Stick around here. It's AFR.
AFR.
Get Gordon and get it done. Of course, Gordon McKernan Injury Attorneys. Gordon, big shout out to G-Team member Alexis Morris. Alexis Morris, of course, was drafted in the WNBA by the Connecticut Sun. a 22nd overall, a great representative not only of LSU, but also a great representative of the G team. So congrats to Alexis Morris from all of your friends and your partners over at Gordon McKernan Injury Attorneys. Like we say all the time, for more than 30 years, Gordon's been helping injured people in Louisiana. So if you've been injured, it's not your fault. You need representation. Get Gordon and get it done. You can always go to getgordon.com. That's getgordon.com, or call 888-8888. 888-8888. Again, congrats to Alexis Morris, 22nd overall pick in the WNBA draft to the Connecticut Sun. Wishing her well from all of your friends at Gordon McKernan Injury Attorneys. GetGordon.com. Get Gordon and get it done.
Bayou Ford has the new inventory to get you in a new Ford truck or SUV today, or customize your next vehicle just the way you want it. All new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a 1 million mile powertrain warranty. The crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
Hi, I'm Brandon Landry, founder and CEO of Walker.
Hi, my name is Dr. Craig Green.
This is Ryan Terrio with HUDCORoofing.com.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. No matter how big your commercial roofing job, HUDCO can help.
My patients come to me because they trust that I can get the job done at a high level. Ryan Terrio and Richard Tilley have the same level of trust when it comes to roofing.
If you have a roofing issue, call HUDCO Roofing.
Give us a call, 364-1007, and we'll come to your house and give you a free inspection.
Not only did she tell us, but this young lady, stand up. And this young lady won our
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Hey there, little buddy. What's the matter?
What's the matter? My windows, siding, and my door. That's what's the matter.
Relief Windows can fix all of that. I got you. Pop, pop. What's up?
Oh my gosh, look!
Curb appeal. That's a good-looking neighborhood. ReliefWindows.com.
Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram has $10,000 off new 2022 Jeep Gladiators and $8,000 off new 23 Jeep Grand Cherokees. All new Bayou automotive vehicles.
After further review with Matt Moscona, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
Wrapping up hour number 2. We're glad you're hanging out with us here. Right now, Muso has Tigers in the Pros.
Tigers in the Pros. They still bleed purple and gold. They're just really rich now. Presented by Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry. Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry, where Baton Rouge gets engaged.
Devin White has requested a trade from the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Heard about that.
First reported by Jenna Lane, covers the Bucs for ESPN. Later confirmed, I will say confirmed. Adam Schefter, Ian Rappaport, others, all on that beat. Jenna Lane first. One of her sources says
celebrated by Matt Moscona.
Yes, in the first segment of this hour. If you missed it,
God.
If you missed it, you should go back and listen to it on demand. Brett Golf, YouTube. all those things.
Golf.breck.org. Book
There
your
it
tee
is.
time. Golf.breck.org.
There it is.
Big news coming later this month about a course reopening.
Ooh.
Golf.breck.org. Book your tee time right now.
Anyway, sources are saying that Devin White is, quote, fed up with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and how they stink and are tanking for a quarterback.
Makes two of us there, Devin White. Fed up with Tampa Bay, too.
Keep you posted on the latest there. The WNBA draft was last night. First round came and went, but LSU well represented in the second round. LaDasia Williams first off the board there for the Tigers, 17th overall to the Indiana Fever, who also had the first pick in the draft. And then the Tigers didn't have to wait very long for pick number 2 of the night. That came at 22nd overall to the Connecticut Sun.
With the 22nd pick in the 2023 WNBA draft, the Connecticut Sun select Alexis Morris from LSU.
Cool moment for both. I will say this. When I was going back to find the Alexis Morris announcement, I just kind of went through the entire draft and skimmed through. LaDasia Williams got drafted during a commercial, and I think that stinks. I think that's awful, and they need to be better with production on that. It's a cool moment for her. Obviously, she got drafted. I'm sure she has no hard feelings for it, but man, that kind of stinks.
Well, I said it earlier, but say it again. Alexis Morris wearing her grandfather's tuxedo is one of the cool hat tips of the night. There's a video of Alexis Morris and Kim Mulkey, and so you could see her there. I guess she had it altered, obviously.
Sure.
But still, a very cool thing for her to do, and a cool hat tip to her grandfather, and a great way to sort of tie the family into a great moment. So, awesome. Congrats, Alexis Morris. And LaDasia Williams, of course.
National champions and now off to the WNBA. Major League Baseball last night, Alex Bregman for the Astros, 1 for 3. It was a single, 2 runs scored, and also an RBI. Bregman was all over the base paths last night. Aside from the 1 hit, also drew 3 walks. So he's starting to figure it out a little bit after a slow start for Bregman, if you ever had any doubt that he would. Jake Fraley continues his hot start to the year. How long is it a hot start? Do we go a couple weeks?
Yeah, it's still the start.
Okay. Well, that's what I mean, a couple weeks, 3 weeks, first month.
You still have games being snowed out. It's the start.
That's true. Okay. He's still on fire, though. 2 for 5 last night for Fraley. Both of them singles, did drive in a run as well. Up to 320 on the year so far, and 9 RBI for Jake Fraley. Staying pat in that 3-hole in the major leagues for the Cincinnati Reds. How you doing? That's Tigers in the Pros.
Presented by Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry, LMFJ.com. That's LMFJ.com for Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry. Gentlemen, if you are thinking about popping the question, go where Baton Rouge has gone to get engaged for more than 30 years. It's Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry with exquisite diamonds. The sparkle, the brilliance, the elegance, the highest quality diamonds you'll find anywhere at the best price, and you always get the Lee Michaels experience. Don't think about going anywhere else. Go where Baton Rouge is going to get engaged for 30 years. Trust the local experts at Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry, LMFJ.com. All right, it's after further review. Mentioned Devin White wanting to bounce out of Tampa. Marcus Spears on ESPN earlier today kind of likes the idea.
Tampa is a rebuilding organization at this point. There's a lot of unknowns about what they'll be on the offensive side of the ball. And obviously, you mentioned Roquan Smith, Shefty. That is the litmus test. A guy that's played at a very high level, been very productive within this organization. And usually these things look identical. And in this regard, I believe they are very identical. Look, Devin White won a Super Bowl, was an integral part in the road to winning that Super Bowl. And now you get to the point where you're in 5th year, you're looking for some money. You probably expect the organization to take care of you previous to that needing to be exercised. Didn't happen. And now you try to find greener pastures elsewhere. And look, if you're following Roquan Smith template, you're going to be a very wealthy man.
Devin White will be, and thankfully it's not going to be in Tampa. Good. Go elsewhere. Stop being a nightmare to the New Orleans Saints. So fired up for Devin White to be able to get out of Tampa. Hopefully that happens really soon. All right, it's after further review. I don't have time. I only got about 90 seconds left. Zion Williamson did meet reporters today after Pelicans practice. So I do want to talk about this. We'll get to what Zion said. We'll react to it. Pels are in the play-in tomorrow, and obviously a ton of questions around Zion. So I get it. And as long as that story continues to progress, we will continue to keep up with it. So, and Zion is massively interesting for all the reasons we all know. and we'll keep talking about it. All right, it's after further review. Earlier today was over at Traction. It was pretty great. They got all their Easter camps going on right now, but I was doing a circuit, so I'm doing the bench press, dumbbell bench press, and on the benches it was Andre Anthony, Damone Clark, Micah Baskerville, Scone. Which doesn't belong. But that's what it is at Traction. Like, you train where the pros train, literally. You got all these kids running through for the Easter camps right now. You got a dope like me trying to stay moderately fit, and these pro athletes getting ready for their season. It's at Traction. It's where champions are made. Remember, Traction Physical Therapy as well. If you're trying to get back in the game, you want to swing the golf club, be able to play volleyball, at Mangoes, or whatever it is that you love to do to stay active, Traction PT can help you get back in the game as well. Go to TractionSports.com to learn more. TractionSports.com. Traction, where champions are made. All right, Brian Kelly talking transfer portal. That's coming up right after SportsCenter.
AFR.
Love telling you about the Williamson Eye Center. Tell you about all these pro athletes, and Dr. Blake Williamson has served so many pro athletes and college athletes over his career. Guys who have come in there and who couldn't see, and they were able to elevate their game, their level of performance because of LASIK or whatever the refractive procedure was that they had, thanks to Dr. Blake Williamson. I mean, I've rattled off so many names over the years. We've talked about Devin White. Devin White and I sat down together and did an interview series with Dr. Blake Williamson about our experience with LASIK. Did that several years ago. But Devin told the story about how he couldn't even see the coaches on the sideline signaling in plays. So LASIK was life-changing for him, for his career. Maybe it's literally just you want to be able to see better, to have more confidence when you drive, to see the ticker on the bottom of the screen, to wake up in the morning and not have to shove contact lens in your eyes. The Williamson Eye Center can make it happen. 3 generations, more than 75 years. It's the Williamson Eye Center. Call 924-2020, 924-2020, or williamsoneye.com.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram has $10,000 off new 2022 Jeep Gladiators and $8,000 off new 23 Jeep Grand Cherokees. All new Bayou automotive vehicles come with a 1 million mile warranty. If you need sales or service, the crew at Bayou is going to do right by you.
What's up, y'all? It's that time again. It's heating up. Your boat's getting ready to come out and spend all summer on the water. It's time to take your boat to the next level with front-to-back boat service, where if you want an incredible custom speaker install, it's going to blow people away in the water, that's there for you. You want an HD sonar where you can see the fish under the water before you cast, beat all your friends, that's there for you at front-to-back boat service. So don't put it off. We got the parts in right now. Get them now before they go back on back order. Front-to-back boat service.
Clash of the Cooks Jambalaya Showdown is back. Join us on Saturday, April 22nd at the Ochsner Medical Complex at The Grove. We've got cooking teams of pros and joes serving up their best jambalaya and Cajun Creole dishes, all while helping raise dough for local families battling cancer. Bring the whole family for great food, live tunes, and good times. Clash of the Cooks Jambalaya Showdown presented by Ochsner. Saturday, April 22nd at lunchtime. Help us paddle it forward. For tickets and more information, go to clashofthecooks.com.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Is SportsCenter.
I'm Christine Lisi. Timberwolves center Rudy Gobert will not be on the floor for tonight's play-in matchup against the Lakers. Minnesota suspended him for a game for punching a teammate Sunday. With Gobert's absence, LA's an 8.5-point favorite, and there are two players not named LeBron James or Anthony Davis who will be crucial for the Lakers tonight, believes ESPN's Tim Bontemps.
They need D'Angelo Russell and Malik Beasley to hit shots. If those guys go 10 for 18, which they're capable of doing, I think it's going to be very hard for the Lakers to lose this game. On the other hand, if they go 2 for 18, which they're also very capable of doing, that opens the door for Minnesota to sneak this, even with their injury.
And Bontemps on Fitz and Harry. T-Wolves also missing the injured Jaden McDaniels and Naz Reid. Tonight's winner is the West 7th seed and plays Memphis in the first round of the playoffs. The loser will have a chance to play for the 8th seed. Heat and Hawks meet in tonight's other play-in game. The winner is 7th in the East and plays Boston in round 1, while the loser will play for the 8th seed. Detroit traded quarterback Jeff Okudah to Atlanta for a 5th-round pick in the upcoming NFL draft, reports ESPN's Adam Schefter and Field Yates.
ESPN Radio is presented by Progressive Insurance. Looking for a career you'll love with flexibility, great pay, and benefits, and one of the country's top workplaces? Come join their growing team. Go to progressive.com/careers and apply online today.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studios.
That's right.
Hour 3 off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. AFR. I'm Matt.
You're a loser, man!
Shut up, kid. Paul O'Neill.
They're chanting Paul O'Neill's name.
Yusu. And Mr. Toby Tomplay. All right, we're here. Glad you are as well. 5 o'clock quitting time. Glad you're driving home with us. LSU Tulane in baseball 1 hour from right now. Bottom of this hour, we'll give you a final preview. We'll look at the starting lineups, all that good stuff. 15 minutes from right now, Mel Kiper's latest mock draft is out. We'll run through that. Also, let you hear from Zion Williamson, who met with reporters earlier today. That's coming up in 15 short minutes. LSU football is back on the practice field today. We, to start the show, went through some sort of a practice recap, some things that stood out. Would always recommend you can go back and listen to that on demand. We literally started the show, so go to AFR on demand or via your favorite podcast app to search After Further Review or the Watch 104.5 ESPN YouTube channel. But Brian Kelly, when he met with reporters after Tuesday's practice, was also asked about the transfer portal. So we all know there's a transfer portal window, which opens up after the regular season. And you see this big wave of transfers after the college football season. There's a second portal window, which is set to open up later this week. And Brian Kelly was asked about it and asked really if his team still has other needs in the transfer portal right now. He gave a long, detailed answer, so I want you to hear it, and then we're going to kind of break it apart piece by piece. Here's what Brian Kelly said about the portal.
I still think that there's a couple of needs on defense, and, I think we're still, maybe interested on the offensive line. I think there's still an interest to add to our offense. But I would say that we're guarded at this period of time as to somebody that's going to make a difference in an LSU football lineup. These are probably going to be guys that can add depth to what you're doing. I don't think you can go out there swinging for, a starter that's going to come in and change the trajectory of your your starting lineup. These are guys that can contribute and be part of your depth. And I think that's kind of what we're looking at.
Okay. So the portal opens again on April 15th, and it's open for 2 weeks. It runs through April 15th through the end of the month on April the 30th. Remember, when the portal window is open, that's the opportunity for players to enter the portal, okay? But you can commit to a school at any time. You don't have to commit just during a portal window. That's just when players are eligible to enter, to put their name in the portal. So that starts on the 15th, so that's Saturday the 15th. So the portal window is going to be open before LSU finishes spring football. They'll finish spring next Saturday with the spring game, a week from Saturday on April 22nd. So oddly, you may actually end up having players enter the transfer portal while spring football is still going on. We'll see. But what Brian Kelly said there, he was still looking for players on defense, depth on the offensive line, and maybe some offensive players as well. So we're really looking for guys that'll give us depth right now, not necessarily players that are going to jump in and be starters. It is really impossible. It is impossible to know who LSU could target in the portal until you know who is in the portal. The most notable portal addition LSU has ever made is the greatest player in the history of the program, Joe Burrow. LSU didn't add Joe Burrow until after spring football, into that second portal window when, I guess the portal wasn't really even a thing right there. Burrow was a grad transfer at the time, so he was able to get immediate eligibility. But Burrow didn't announce he was leaving Ohio State until after spring football. LSU could have never targeted or known they were going to target Joe Burrow or target a quarterback until Burrow was in the portal, and they were like, okay, let's go get Burrow. Let's make our play for Joe Burrow. Because remember, at the time, LSU had Miles Brennan coming off his freshman season. They had, you had Justin McMillan and Lowell Narcisse as well. So you had 3 scholarship quarterbacks. Now, they didn't sign a freshman quarterback coming in at that point, but you had 3 scholarship quarterbacks. You didn't need a quarterback. Like, numbers-wise, you didn't need to go get a quarterback if there wasn't one there. Well, Burrow entered the portal, and you realize, man, it's an opportunity to get better at the most important position. Let's go make our pitch. And we know how it all played out. So again, a year ago, LSU in the second portal window added Sevyn Banks from Ohio State. Well, you could have been content with the cornerbacks that you had. You added a bunch of them. But when Sevyn Banks went into the portal, you go make your play for him. So you don't know necessarily who or what position specifically you're targeting until you know who's in the portal. There might be a starting caliber player that enters the portal that you can go make a play for that can be a starting player for you. I'll tell you this. For me, I think there's 3 positions. And I'm not just going to say like Brian Kelly said, with some guys on defense, maybe offensive line, offensive players. I'm going to be more specific. Number 1 is a veteran tight end. And this is an enormous need, okay? LSU just has never really replenished there. Now, they did it in the freshman ranks with the freshman signing class. You've got Mac Markway coming in. You've got Kamorian Pimpton coming in as well. So you've got guys at tight end who are joining your program. You have 4 freshmen coming in. And but Mason Taylor is your only experienced tight end. And while he had a great freshman season, he's still just a true sophomore. Now, we're hoping you'll continue to see the growth there throughout his career. But after Mason Taylor, you don't have any experience at tight end, and you don't have a traditional attached tight end, which is kind of what we've seen from Brian Kelly throughout the year. So if there's a possibility of adding a veteran tight end, you do it. That's 1. 2 is something we've talked about quite a lot here, and that's depth on the offensive line. Tigers lost about a half dozen offensive linemen in the transfer portal. You've signed a big offensive line class, and there's guys coming in that you feel really good about, namely Zalance Hurd. And you return 5 starters, and really, if you include Marlon Martinez, 6 guys that played a lot of football for you, and 6 guys that you feel really good about going into this season. The problem is, after those 6, there's no experience at all. Now, you're bringing in Mason Lunsford, the transfer from Maryland, who's played a lot of football, and that adds some veteran depth, and maybe even a guy that can compete for a starting job at one of the guard spots. We'll see. So those 7 you feel good about, but after that, it's all freshmen. And maybe Lunsford's great and Lance Hurd is awesome, and you don't even worry about it beyond that because all your depth is really good, but you don't know that. So if you have the opportunity, listen, I would say actions speak louder than words, the old adage. It's very true. LSU went and tried to sign Jake Renfro, the center from Cincinnati, who ultimately committed to and signed with Wisconsin. They tried to sign Ja'Kai Clark, the center from the University of Miami, who ultimately picked SMU. They tried to go sign 2 centers in this portal window. So if another program has a guy where there's a scenario where you have a guy that's played a lot of football that for whatever reason jumps in the transfer portal, you got to consider it. And that could be a very real possibility. The third I'll tell you is safety. And I am going to be very interested to watch the safety position. I think LSU, and the attention is going to be on cornerback, and I understand why. You've got a lot of talented guys like Deuce Chestnut and J.K. Johnson and Denver Harris and Zy Alexander, and you brought in some young guys, and you feel good about the numbers and the talent that you have there. But for me, and I understand why there's interest in who's going to win those jobs, because it's just flashier. Safety for me is the biggest question. Joe Fouché and Jay Ward were really good for you a year ago. And them being so solid there allowed Greg Brooks to play nickel, where he was your best option at nickel. Well, with Ward and Fouché gone, Greg Brooks, who has been in a walking boot, and they expect him to be back at some point running around a little bit, but really with Greg Brooks and then Major Burns, who they're putting on the shelf for the rest of spring, if those are your starting safeties, that leaves a liability at nickel where Greg Brooks had a career season. If you have the option in the transfer portal to add a starting safety, you have to do it. Major Burns has not stayed healthy during any of his college seasons. In 2020, as a freshman at Georgia, 21, he had the foot injury here at LSU, and then last year he had the neck injury. So you hope he stays healthy, and if he does, he could be a really good player, but he hasn't done that in his career. And Greg Brooks, I think, is a better option for you at nickel than at deep safety. So if you have an option in the portal to add a starting caliber safety, I think you do it because that gives you so much more veteran option there at that position. Maybe Javen Toviano, the freshman, emerges and has a great year. Maybe a guy like Matthew Langlois or Jordan Allen, who you signed a year ago, step up and they give you great depth and reps at safety. Maybe. But why lean on a maybe if, again, if, bold, underscore, italics, if a starting caliber player with a ton of experience and major college experience is available, you go get that player. So those are 3 spots that I would look at. Veteran tight end, depth on the offensive line, and safety. If you have players emerge out of the transfer portal at those positions, if you're LSU, I think that's where you're looking here in this portal cycle. All right, it's after further review. We're glad you're with us. We're brought to you by South Point Volkswagen and SouthPointVW.com. New and certified pre-owned in Baton Rouge and online at SouthPointVW.com. SouthPointVW.com. Look, I know we're getting that time of year where a lot of people are looking toward graduation. And for a lot of parents, maybe you're buying your grad a vehicle. And you want something that is safe. And you want something that's stylish that they're going to love. But you also want something that's affordable. Shop Volkswagen. It checks every box. Airline just north of Highland, South Point Volkswagen. They're Louisiana's largest volume Volkswagen dealers. And they have 9 different IIHS top safety picks. So you get this, what I say every day, the style, the feel, the performance of luxury, the great German engineering that your son or daughter is going to love to drive. But you get the peace of mind knowing they're driving one of the safest vehicles on the road. And you also get the added benefit of it being very affordable. It's South Point Volkswagen, Louisiana's largest volume Volkswagen dealer. South Point Volkswagen. SouthPointVW.com. South Point Volkswagen. What's your direction? Okay, let me step aside. When we come back, we are going to get to LSU Tulane preview bottom of this hour. When we come back, though, Zion met with the media. Want to let you hear what Zion had to say post-practice as we continue to advance that story. And also, Mel Kiper's latest mock draft is out. 2-round mock draft. What does he have the Saints doing at 29-40? And how many LSU Tigers does he have going in the first 2 rounds? We're going to get to that when we continue here on AFR.
AFR.
Every single day when I tell you about River City's 1 Hour Air, I read 5-star Google reviews. And I never run out of them because River City's 1 Hour Air has more than double the amount of 5-star Google reviews of the next closest competitor. When you've been in business for 40 years in this market and treating people right for 4 decades, you have so many people singing your praises for you. Parisha Chanel left this 5-star Google review a couple of weeks ago. Great job on service. Customer service was impeccable and very informative of the service that was done. It's something you find time and time again with River City's 1 Hour Air. The technician that comes to your house is going to be expertly trained, and they're going to over-explain everything to you so you feel comfortable. It's River City's 1 Hour Air. 752-0001, 752-0001, or 1hourbr.com, where they're always on time or you don't pay a dime.
I'm Chris Nakamoto, and here's what I'm working on for my stories on WBRZ Channel 2 tonight. All 5 law enforcement officers implicated in the death and cover-up of Ronald Green entered not guilty pleas today in a North Louisiana courtroom. The WBRZ investigative unit exposed the cover-up at state police tied to his beating death, which led to a complete overhaul at state police in terms of leadership and policies. Find out what's next for those officers. I'm Chris Nakamoto from WBRZ. Watch more tonight on WBRZ Channel 2.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Each year, Guarantee Media hosts a radiothon to benefit Dreams Come True, the local organization that grants dreams to Louisiana kids suffering life-threatening illnesses and their families. We've interviewed these incredible kids, and their stories warm our hearts. And none of it would be possible without your help. So we're asking for your support in our effort to making more dreams come true. Each year, our Dreams Come True radiothon is powered by the Baton Rouge Clinic. Visit GuaranteeMedia.com to pledge your support today, and thank you.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Hey there, little buddy. What's the matter?
What's the matter? My windows, siding, and my door. That's what's the matter.
Relief Windows can fix all that. I got you. Pop, pop. What's up?
Oh my gosh, look!
Curb appeal. That's a good-looking neighborhood. ReliefWindows.com.
Hi, I'm Brandon Landry, founder and CEO of Walker.
Hi, my name is Dr. Craig Green.
This is Ryan Terrio with HUDCORoofing.com.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. No matter how big your commercial roofing job, HUDCO can help.
My patients come to me because they trust that I can get the job done at a high level. Ryan Terrio and Richard Tilley have the same level of trust when it comes to roofing.
If you have a roofing issue, call HUDCO Roofing.
Give us a call, 360.
After further review with Matt Moscona, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge and the Baton Rouge Clinic bring you the Dreams Come True Radiothon. Dreams Come True is an organization designed to help grant dreams for children with life-threatening illnesses. Every $5 donation is an entry into our raffle. Raffle items They include this year an Aaron and Austin Nola autographed bat, ball, and pictured concert ticket package to see Thomas Rhett, Shinedown, Zach Bryan, Guns N' Roses, and more. The Dreams Come True Radiothon is presented today by Luba, Lewis Mechanical, and Acura of Baton Rouge. Donate today at 1045ESPN.com.
I'm going to Guns N' Roses in Houston. It's in September. It's at Minute Maid.
Oh, that's going to be cool.
Yeah, that Thursday. The show's on a Thursday. I'm taking the day off, so I'm going to drive to Houston, watch the show, spend Thursday night in Houston, drive back, do the show Friday. But I am fired up. I mean, I think Axl Rose is like 58 years old now, so I don't know that he sounds awesome anymore, but I really don't care.
Have you seen them before?
No, I've never seen them before. So
I know you've seen a lot of concerts.
Yeah, well, when I was doing rock radio 20 years ago, they weren't together. They teased Chinese Democracy for like a decade. It finally came out. It was a big letdown. They toured not long ago. They were in the Superdome. It's been a few years ago they did a show in the Superdome. But I didn't make it to that. I can't remember why. But anyway, so when I saw they were going to be in Houston, of course, I was in... I was actually in, it was when we went to Napa. I was there in Napa and booked my trip to Houston for the concert because well, look, I mean, we're in a building here with Eagle 98.1, and it's like it's one of the best rock stations in the country, and certainly the flagship heritage rock station in the Gulf South. I mean, everybody knows Eagle 98.1, so when they were promoting Guns N' Roses, naturally, Eagle found out about the show early because they were going through all the promos and all the whatever stuff. So I had a little birdie tell me, so I went and booked hotel way in advance, and so staying like there's a hotel right across the street from Minute Maid, so I'm stay there and go watch the show. So fired up for it. So maybe y'all can be there if you win the tickets. The other thing too about the Dreams Come True Radiothon, tomorrow they're bringing back the Power Hour. If you missed it last week, what they're gonna do is for every donation made from 3 to 4 o'clock Central tomorrow on the Dreams Come True Radiothon, everybody will win everybody who donates between 3 and 4 o'clock tomorrow during the Power Hour will get a $25 Pluckers gift card. So, I mean, it was incredible. Like, we talked about it last week. Remember, my inbox was going ding, 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 ding. I mean, it just, for an hour, it was just tons of donations. So, awesome thing. I mean, Dreams Come True is an amazing organization. For those that don't know, it's a Louisiana organization. All the money stays in Louisiana. It benefits Louisiana children fighting terminal or life-threatening illnesses, and it grants their dream, whatever they want to do. And Miss Becky Prejean has done an awesome job forever with that organization, and we've been thrilled to be partnered for a lot of years. So if you can donate, please do. Just go to 1045ESPN.com. Lots of great incentives. I mean, the raffle prizes and the gift cards and all are ancillary, and it's a cool benefit. Obviously, it incentivizes you to donate. Just a great organization. Hopefully you can. Yesterday, or actually over the weekend, we found out that Zion wasn't going to return for the regular season, won't be available for the play-in, and best case would be he returns for a round one series. David Griffin spoke over the weekend. Zion met with reporters today and had this to say about the situation.
I mean, physically, I'm fine. Now it's just a matter of when I feel like Zion. I know the atmosphere I'd be in based off like the playoff experience. So now it's just a matter of when I feel like Zion.
This is so it's so difficult to talk about this because there's a couple things that I fundamentally believe. I believe Zion Williamson is a good guy. Like, I don't think he's just sitting on the bench to collect a check and not work. I believe he's a good guy. He's been great in the community. I believe he wants to win, wants to play, wants to be there with his teammates. He has been all of those things. We have seen him sort of remake his body, right? I mean, we looked at him coming into this season, how he'd lost a lot of the weight, really toned up a lot. There's a lot of things there that, from the outside looking in, you can look at Zion and go, man, I like that guy. I can bet on that guy. That answer, though, is bizarre. Now, shout out, I'm going to use this. Our friend Madeline Adams from Fox 8 posted this video. See if we can take this, Muse. Here's another clip from Zion from today.
I love this game. I say it over and over. For those people that think that I just want to sit on the sideline just to sit over there, I don't know why people think that. But, nah, it sucks. I just want to be playing basketball, for real. It's tough. It's tough. I can't lie. It's tough. From my perspective, I just want to play basketball. I want to hoop. I want to play the game I love. But the reality of it is, whether I check my phone, whether I'm just watching TV, no matter what it is, I can't really escape, what the world thinks, what people's opinions are. So, it's frustrating.
I don't blame him for being frustrated, but you can understand how there's conflicting point of views. When he says, I'm healthy, when the Pelicans organization this is the conflicting part, right? The Pelicans organization, David Griffin told you, he's healthy. There's, it's not a doctor's thing anymore. It's when can he feel comfortable being himself, doing the things that he does. And it really is just a matter of trusting yourself to go out there and be explosive. And you're not going to do that until you do it. So when that's the hang up, when the guy's telling you he wants to play, he just wants to hoop, he doesn't just want to sit on the sideline, I believe him on all those things. But it's also fair to ask, if you're healthy, then why aren't you doing it? It's fair to say, man, you're dunking in pregame, why aren't you out there? That's the perplexing part. So we'll wait. We'll wait and see. And hope that at some point in the very near future, he's back out there. I hope the Pels win tomorrow night and they're back on the floor for another play-in opportunity to win the 8 seed, and they get out there and do it. So maybe we'll see Zion, then we'll see. All right. It's After Further Review, brought to you by Relief Windows. Mel Kiper released his 2-round mock draft today. Telling about that in one brief moment. A word, though, from Relief Windows and ReliefWindows.com. Energy-efficient replacement windows, beautiful entry doors, hardy plank and vinyl siding. They do it all over at Relief Windows. They're just the best. There's a reason you've seen the exponential growth Relief Windows in the last decade, because Brandon and Adrian Holly are awesome people that run a business. They're ethical, and they do great work. And everyone that puts that Relief Windows logo on a shirt, a jacket, a hat, when they come into your house, there's a level of expectation of quality of work and the way you treat people for every person in that company. It starts at the top with Brandon Holly, who's told me so many times, when you're a business owner, you have to be willing to spend your last dollar to make your customer happy. When that's the mindset of the dude running the company, you better believe you're going to get experience, quality, and service. That's Relief Windows. Online at ReliefWindows.com. ReliefWindows.com. Mel Kiper released a 2-round mock draft today, Tuesday. And there was one significant change for the New Orleans Saints. We had seen Mel Kiper, the previous couple of mock drafts, mock Darnell Washington, the tight end out of Georgia, to the New Orleans Saints at 29. He has changed that projection. Today, Mel Kiper mocked Kalijah Kancey, the defensive tackle out of Pitt, to the Saints at 29. He mentions, of course, adding Colin Saunders, Nathan Shepard there on the defensive line for the Saints, but they're probably not done. Talks about Kancey being one of his favorite prospects in the class. Explosive pass rusher, despite being undersized, 6'1", 281. But says he's going to rack up sacks at the next level. 14.5 sacks the last 2 seasons. Mentions that New Orleans could also look at pass catchers or a tight end or a receiver. One of the consistent things we talked about with the Saints in all these mock drafts is there isn't a consensus. You see defensive linemen, you see receivers, you see tight ends, you see basically every position, because when you're the Saints at this point, you have an awful lot of needs. I mentioned this is a 2-round mock draft, and so the Saints, of course, have 2 picks in the first 2 rounds, the 29th overall pick and then the 40th pick. So after taking Kalijah Kancey at 29, Mel Kiper projects the Saints to take the guy he had projected them to take with their first-round pick, Darnell Washington, the tight end out of Georgia. We all watched Darnell Washington at Georgia. He's the massive tight end, 6'7", 264. The Saints need a tight end. There's no other way to say it, y'all. Jawan Johnson has been great as a converted receiver, considering you took him as an undrafted free agent and molded him into this. But Adam Troutman as a third-round pick has been a disappointment. I don't think you can confidently say that you're going to sign Troutman to a second contract. And who else do you have? Darnell Washington fits the mold exactly of what you need as a guy that can be an attached tight end, that can block, that's a big physical player at the point of attack, that can also go catch passes and has a huge catch radius. I'm with it. I'm going to say this again. With this draft for the New Orleans Saints, they have so many needs that I'm going to be good with darn near anything they do, as long as they get a defensive lineman with one of their first 2 picks. I would prefer it to be at 29. If you're sitting there at 29, take the best defensive lineman on the board. Maybe it's Kalijah Kancey. We've seen a lot of different guys mocked to the Saints at 29 at that position on the defensive line. We've seen Brian Breesy out of Clemson mocked to the New Orleans Saints. Kuiper has him going 1 pick earlier to the Bengals. Again, the Saints' biggest deficiency a year ago was in their run defense. We have seen over the last 2 years a defense that set an NFL record for consecutive games without allowing a 100-yard rusher plummet to 22nd in the NFL in run defense. That, at the point of attack, sets the stage for everything else you want to do. The Saints have got to address it. You saw David Onyemata and Shai Tuttle and Kentavious Street all walk in free agency. You don't even have numbers, let alone production. You have got to add impactful guys. I like the 2 guys that you signed right now. And great. You need more. And I would love to get it at 29 in the draft. If you do that, then I'm good with any player you take at 40, because you could get a great running back. You could maybe get a tight end like Washington. You could certainly get an edge player. You can take a receiver, which you need. I am going to be good with whatever the Saints do at 40 if the first pick they take at 29 is a defensive lineman. Now, the other thing that's interesting, because I know a lot of Saints fans are keeping an eye on what happens with Hendon Hooker, and he is rocketed up a lot of draft boards. The Philadelphia Eagles pick at 30, and Mel Kiper is mocking a trade between Philadelphia and Seattle, with Seattle going up to number 30 to take Hendon Hooker out of Tennessee. There would be I fear, a general melt around here if the Saints pick at 29 and Hooker goes a pick later at 30, which it wouldn't surprise me at this point. The talk and the chatter around Hendon Hooker is such that he has made the most of his opportunities at the Senior Bowl, at the Combine, at his Pro Day, all the individual workouts. There's no concern over the knee. And what's very clear is that he's a mature young guy. We know he can throw the deep ball. The physicality's there. We get it. It's really just a matter of coming off the injury and his age. It's the 2 things everybody have talked about. And someone is probably going to get a great value with Hendon Hooker if they're able to draft him late round 1 or in round 2. So that's the other thing that I know a lot of Saints fans have been keeping an eye on. But when you look at how round 2 plays out with guys like Jahmyr Gibbs at 37, O'Cyrus Torrence at 38, Drew Sanders, the All-American linebacker from Alabama, at 39. There's just so much talent. I even look at players after the Saints pick, with the Kiper draft. Guys like Byron Young, the outside linebacker from Tennessee. Jack Campbell, the inside linebacker from Iowa. Players that I mean, we've seen Adebawore, the defensive lineman from Northwestern, mocked to the Saints in round 1. Kiper has him going 50 overall to Tampa. The point being, you're going to have great value in this draft. Not every draft sets up to be really deep. This is one where, as you look at these players that are being projected to go in round 2 and then day 2, late day 2, early day 3 picks, you look at players where you're going to get great value in them. I feel like that's this for the Saints. For whatever it's worth, Mel Kiper does have 2 LSU players going in round 2. The first LSU player off the board he has is B.J. Ojulari, going 53 overall to the Chicago Bears. That would make a lot of sense. Ojulari has a lot of, as Kiper notes, has a lot of tape that makes him look like a top 20 pick. And then there's days or plays where, as a smaller edge player, he doesn't really look the part. I think the thing about Ojulari is he's just got to go to the right spot. I was doing an interview yesterday with a New York radio station. They were talking about Giants and possible players the Giants would take. And, of course, Azeez Ojulari is there in New York with the Giants. And the thing about B.J. Ojulari, very similar in size to Azeez, he's just not going to be a hand-in-the-dirt NFL player. Like, he can be a stand-up outside linebacker and be a great one. He's just got to go to the right defense. And then just a handful of picks later at 61 overall, also to the Chicago Bears, Mel Kiper mocks Jaquelin Roy to go to the Bears. That's a guy who has made the most out of his pre-draft opportunities. When Jaquelin Roy declared for the draft, a lot of us wondered why. Thought another year at college would do him an awful lot of good, considering, just being sort of buried on the rotation a little bit early in his career. But he's blown up during this draft workout season, and if he ends up in round 2, smart decision for Jay Roy. So just a couple things there from Mel Kiper as he's got his latest 2-round mock draft dropping earlier today. All right, it is after further review. Glad to have you hanging out with us here. Let me knock out a break. We'll come back. Lineup posted. We are 25 minutes away from first pitch. LSU and Tulane. We'll roll through it. Stick around. It's AFR.
AFR.
All right, y'all. Spring is upon us. It is time to get in the garden and just plant something. Clegg's Nursery can help you do it. Not sure what to plant? No biggie. Just go to Clegg's. Ask them. What I used to do, like when I was first starting to go to Clegg's, when Eric and I had just bought our first home and we were like, I don't know what to do, I would take a picture of our yard, like of the front lawn, garden, the back area, and say, what would be good here? Because sometimes you don't know, like some plants and flowers need direct sunlight. Some don't do great in direct sunlight. So what do you get? What would thrive? Sometimes you have time to dedicate to being in your garden every single day. Sometimes you need things that are going to be a little stauncher and be able to survive without day-to-day care. Clegg's has all those answers for you. So get by any of their 4 locations. Siega near Airline, LA 16 in Denham, Mid-City on Donmore, and the Garden Center on Greenwell Springs. They've been around for more than 60 years. They're partnered with True Value Hardware Store. Buy local, shop local at Clegg's Nursery.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
The best kept secret in town is out. Discover Tallulah at the Renaissance Hotel on Bluebonnet.
Hey, what's up, y'all? It's that time again. It's heating up. Your boat's getting ready to come out and spend all summer on the water. It's time to take your boat to the next level with front-to-back boat service, where if you want an incredible custom speaker install, it's going to blow people away in the water, that's there for you. You want an HD sonar where you can see the fish under the water before you cast, beat all your friends, that's there for you at front-to-back boat service. So don't put it off. We got the parts in right now. Get them now before they go back on back order. Front-to-back boat service.
For over a century, local broadcasting has evolved with the needs of the community. We move past the stigmas of opinion journalism and bring the most relevant news online, on air, and on the go. You have trusted us with your news, sports, weather, and entertainment. Trust us to keep moving with you. Text TB to 52886 and tell Congress local broadcasting is here to stay.
Bayou Ford has the new inventory to get you in a new Ford truck or SUV today, or customize your next vehicle just the way you want. All new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a 1 million mile powertrain warranty. The crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
Clash of the Cooks Jambalaya Showdown is back.
Join us on Saturday, April 22nd
at the Ochsner Medical Complex at The Grove. We've got cooking teams of pros and joes serving up their best jambalaya and Cajun Creole dishes, all while helping raise dough for local families battling cancer. Bring the whole family for great food, Live tunes and good times. Clash of the Cooks, Jambalaya Showdown, presented by Oshner.
Saturday, April 22nd at lunchtime. Help us paddle it forward. For tickets and more information, go to clashofthecooks.com.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast.
After further review with Matt Moscona, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
Lineups posted for your Fighting Tigers of LSU, ranked number 1 in the country, going against the best 9-23 team ever. I didn't say it. Don't shoot the messenger. Jay Johnson called them the best 9-23 team ever. All right, here's how they're going to line it up tonight for the Tigers down at Turchin against Tulane. A lot of this is what you know. Gavin Dugas will lead off and play second. Trey Morgan will be in left field today and bat second. Dylan Cruz playing center and batting third. Tommy White will play third and bat cleanup, followed by Cade Beloso, who's going to DH tonight, bat in the 5-hole. Jared Jones at first base will bat sixth. Braden Jobert gets the start in right. He'll bat seventh. Jordan Thompson bats eighth and plays short. And Alex Milazzo will get the start and bat ninth behind the dish tonight. Christian Little will be on the bump for the LSU Tigers. So we've seen that the past couple of midweeks. Little was slated to start Game 3 against South Carolina this past weekend. Of course, that game was canceled, so you get Little back on the bump in a starting role. I guess it's safe to say that you're not going to see Little extend very much with it being a Thursday, Friday, Saturday series again this week. So you can start Christian Little, similar to what you've done the past couple of times out. And then I would assume they'll give him the ball or be slated to give him the ball again in Game 3 this weekend. The other notable changes, of course, as we've seen sort of just some interchange with Morgan, first base, left field, and then what you do with Jones and Beloso. So Morgan's back in left, and you got Jones at first base, so Beloso DHs, and Joe Bear's in right. But the other thing, and Musa and I were talking about during the break, is, Milazzo gets a start behind the dish tonight, and he's been quite good. The interesting part of the conversation is, do you get to a point where you give Milazzo a start on the weekend? I mean, the plan coming into this season was, and we can go pull audio, but, had a chance to talk to Jay before the season, and their plan was to start Brady Neal and use Alex Milazzo as a late-inning defensive replacement, which is what they've done. I mean, Alex Milazzo has played in 26 games this year. So they followed the plan that they had, and they're giving him starts in the midweek, and that's cool to see. Started 5 times. This will be his 6th start of the season. What a lot of people didn't see was the bat coming, and that's happened for Milazzo. He's hitting .393. Smaller sample size, just 28 at-bats, as opposed to Brady Neal, who's got 67 at-bats. But Neal's batting .209. And the knock on Milazzo was that he was just an automatic out in your lineup. Now, Neal's had some big moments, man. Neal hit the homer against Arkansas and to tie it at 1 in the 8th inning, and that was a huge moment. He has not shied away from the moment. But he has struggled in conference play to get the bat going. And larger sample size, I get it. I do wonder if Jay gets to the point, if that continues, where maybe they give Milazzo a look at a start during an SEC weekend. So Milazzo, we know the defense has always been there. That's never been a question. That's been the book on him since he came out of Zachary. The elite pop time, the throw down to second base. We know defensively his ability to as a receiver, framing pitches, he's elite. He is an elite defensive catcher. That's always been the thing. It was just that he was an out in your lineup. And I know I've told this before, and Terrio's been here. Alex was at Traction working with Terrio a lot before last season, so much offensively on hitting the ball and letting the ball travel and going the other way and not trying to do too much and putting the ball in play. And so you're seeing that manifest. You would have seen it more last year offensively, but the injury cost him much of his season, but you're seeing it now. So I think we might have talked about it last week, or the last time we talked about this, was when you watch Milazzo hit, just pay attention and notice so much of what he does is now hitting the ball to right field and to center. because he's letting the ball travel more. Instead of getting out in front, swinging and missing, he's letting the ball travel. He's identifying pitches, and he's going the other way with it. So, and the results have been good. So he's hitting .393 right now and 28 at-bats with 11 hits and 28 at-bats. He's got a double. The power numbers aren't great, but he's just putting the ball in play. So we'll see how it goes tonight. LSU and Tulane tonight at Turchin, but I think more important than that, because LSU's got options, I think what everybody's going to be keeping an eye on clearly is what happens with the pitching tonight. This is a Tulane team that's hitting collectively, cumulatively, I think, 230. Used to, you know what offhand? I'm not looking at it. Is it 230 something?
237.
Yeah, 237. I mean, this is not a good team. Their staff ERA is over 5. They're not a good baseball team. They're 9-23. So go down there tonight, run rule them, so we're one day closer to Musso having to buy me and Cartwright dinner.
You? No.
Yeah, I'm in on
I didn't make that. You're going. I didn't make the bet with you. No.
This is
I owe Cartwright dinner, not you.
Look, you're the one who brought Cartwright on the show. You're the one who made this whole thing go, and now look, I'm in. So.
You're going to dinner. You're not in on the bet.
Well, I'm not paying for myself.
We'll figure something out, but you're not in on this bet.
Dinner on Muse. Looking forward to it. I am not a cheap date either, by the way. Not a cheap date, Muse. One thing you should know about me, and you probably do know about me, man, there are certain things in life. Some things I don't care. Some things I'll go bargain basement, just don't care. When it comes to a fine meal, I want a good steak, good whiskey, a good glass of wine, that sort of stuff. So I'm better start saving those paychecks, Muse. Because now, if they don't, what was the number again for the run rules? 11. So they've already got 10.
They're at 10.
So two more run rules, and you're buying me and Cartwright dinner.
Well, at least Cartwright.
Me and Cartwright. So Cartwright. 2 more. You better start saving those paychecks, Muse. Just telling you, it's going to be a pricey dinner. Okay. It's After Further Review, brought to you by Hudco Roofing, HudcoRoofing.com. Do business with someone you know. Hey, real quick, session has started up at the Capitol. I've been telling you about this. One of the things to keep an eye on is the fortified roofing program. There is a movement within the legislature to mandate fortified roofs. Just start to educate yourself. Okay, there's going to be incentive programs. There are great discounts on your insurance premiums already if you have a fortified roof. As much as 52% off your insurance premiums if you have a fortified roof. Hudco, by the way, the very first ever Louisiana-based owned and operated roofing company that was a certified fortified roofing company. So we've been doing fortified roofs, been way ahead of the game on all this. You're going to see others follow, but we'd love to talk to you more about it. You go to the website, HudcoRoofing.com. You can call us, 318-225-504-337. Find the number in your area code, or just fill out the free inspection form there on the homepage at HudcoRoofing.com. Do business with someone you know. Hudco Roofing and HudcoRoofing.com. Okay, let me knock out our final break of the show. Otter is back. We'll get to some Otter locks. Do we know how the Otter did last night? Do you know offhand? He had the Angels and the Diamondbacks, right? All right, I think
Angels lost.
Diamondbacks?
Not sure, but I know the Angels lost.
Son of a bugger. Okay, we'll get to Otter locks when we wrap up next. It's AFR.
AFR.
If you haven't done it yet, make sure you get to ProChargeEV.com, ProChargeEV.com, and register to win a free electric vehicle charger for your business or your commercial building. ProChargeEV.com. This is so easy. Just go to ProChargeEV.com. Look at the top of the homepage. You'll see the charger giveaway tab. Just tap that. The form will pop up. Super easy to fill out. At the end of this month, ProCharge is giving away 3 electric vehicle chargers installed at your business or commercial building. So if you own a business, maybe an apartment complex, whatever it may be, if you have grocery store, car dealership, whatever it is, ProCharge is giving away 3 EV chargers installed at the end of this month. It's free to enter, free to register. Go to online to find out more at ProChargeEV.com. If you don't own a business but know someone who does, send this link to them. Don't miss out on this opportunity. ProChargeEV.com. Again, online, ProChargeEV.com.
Follow us on Twitter at 1045ESPN to cast your vote in the Citizens Bank and Trust poll of the day. Vote daily inside off the bench anytime. Hunt Palmer. And after further review, Citizens Bank and Trust brings you the poll of the day via Twitter at 1045ESPN.
Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram has $10,000 off new 2022 Jeep Gladiators and $8,000 off new 23 Jeep Grand Cherokees. All new Bayou automotive vehicles come with a 1 million mile warranty. If you need sales or service, the crew at Bayou is going to do right by you.
For over a century, local broadcasting has evolved with the needs of the community. We move past the stigmas of opinion journalism and bring the most relevant news online, on air, and on the go. You have trusted us with your news, sports, weather, and entertainment. Trust us to keep moving with you. Text TB to 52886 and tell Congress local broadcasting is here to stay.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Hey there, little buddy. What's the matter?
What's the matter? My windows, siding, and my door. That's what's the matter.
Relief Windows can fix all of that. I got you. Pop, pop. What's up?
Oh my gosh, look!
Curb appeal. That's a good-looking neighborhood. ReliefWindows.com.
Hi, I'm Brandon Landry, founder and CEO of Walker.
Hi, my name is Dr. Craig Green. This is Ryan Terrio with HUDCORoofing.com.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. No matter how big your commercial roofing job, HUDCO can help.
My patients come to me because they trust that I can get the job done at a high level. Ryan Terrio and Richard Tilley have the same level of trust when it comes to roofing.
If you have a roofing issue, call HUDCO Roofing.
Give us a call, 364-1007, and we'll come to your house and give you a free inspection.
Hey, what's up, y'all? It's that time again. It's heating up. Your boat's getting ready to come out and spend all summer on the water. It's time to take your boat to the next level with front-to-back boat service, where if you want an incredible custom speaker install, it's going to blow people away in the water, that's there for you. You want an HD sonar where you can see the fish under the water before you cast, beat all your friends, that's there for you at front-to-back boat service.
After further review with Matt Moscona, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
Down the stretch, we come final segment here on a Tuesday edition of AFR. One thing left to do, find out we're betting on tonight. Time for Otter Locks.
Otter Locks, presented by Lofton Staffing Services. At Lofton, we put people to work. Call us today at 924-0200 or go to lofton.jobs.
Angels lost, Diamondbacks won, so we split last night. Let's get a winning night tonight. We turn to the one and only, the incomparable and often incomprehensible, the Ott father himself, Jimmy Ott. Otter, how are you?
Pretty good, pretty good. One-day work week for me, so
not bad.
I'll be touring colleges with EJ, but I will just text me beforehand, and should have some picks. But Hanny will have some Hanny picks as well. So I got a full plate today. Got a really nice venue.
All right, excellent. Yeah, we got some NBA, some Major League Baseball. So what are we looking at?
Yep, like both the NBA, we'll get to that in just a second. Let's knock out these Major League Baseball. Twins bounce back. They almost beat Dylan Cease, who's about as hot as it gets right now, pitching in Major League Baseball. Lost by a run. They're laying 150 at home with a bounce back. Lance Lynn out the gate slow for the White Sox, taking the Twins minus 150.
Okay.
Mariners, Chris Flexen is off to a really good start on the hill. This game went extra innings last night. Cubbies win. Cubbies are improved, but this is a big-time pitching matchup advantage for the Mariners. Plus 106 is the best number that I found.
Okay.
The Colorado Rockies. You know, one thing we, some of the players kind of started a little momentum in that World Baseball Classic. One of them was kind of a nondescript pitcher, and Kyle Freeland. Freeland in that championship game against Japan gave him 3 scoreless innings. He just picked up. He is not allowed to run in 2 starts. He's plus 160 at home tonight against Michaelis of St. Louis, who is off to a rough start. So this is going to reputation line here. Rockies plus 160 at Bet Rivers in that one.
Okay.
And then my favorite team, man. They hit okay, power okay, pitch okay, but man, they can run. They can fly. They really apply a lot of pressure on the bases. Just swept over the weekend. They won again last night. That was our only winner. Taking Arizona in the Diamondbacks.
1 minute remaining.
Tonight. And then the basketball tonight. Did you watch that Mavericks Hawks game a couple of Fridays ago?
Of course not.
Or Sundays ago. Okay. It looked like an all-star game. No defense at all. Give me Miami. I know they've struggled, but these guys know how to get it done in postseason. -5 at home, and then everybody's fading Minnesota plus the 8.5 because, well, they're beating each other up. They're beating up walls. They're beating up their hands. Gobert is out. But we do think that's way too high tonight. Give us the T-Wolves plus 8.5. 4 baseball and 2 hoops tonight for Otter Lodge.
All right, where are you, Otter?
Mike Anderson Seafood.
Very good, very good. Tuesday night special over there. Otter follows us in Baton Rouge or online at 1045ESPN.com. Thank you, Otter.
All right, thank you, Matt.
I'm be well. Muse Pauly, we appreciate it. Y'all have a great night. Otter is next in Baton Rouge. We'll see you tomorrow at 3.
AFR.
As we get on down the road, I want to remind you about the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana. Bluebonnet in Baton Rouge, Ambassador Caffery in Lafayette, and online at theantiagingclinics.com. Theantiagingclinics.com. The absolute latest in body contouring is there at the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana. Take advantage of these introductory pricing, special pricing at the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana. If you want to learn more, you want to see the Evolve X demoed, you can do it right now at the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana. But again, the introductory special pricing is only for the month of April. You don't have to use it right now in April, but you got to buy your treatments in April to take advantage. You want to get beach body ready, that stubborn areas, lower abdomen, your flanks, whatever it may be, they can help. The Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
There it is, the extra mile. On the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink or a warm meal, a movie night, and a comforting light at the end of a dark hallway. From sunrise to sunset, playtime to bedtime, our team is ready to take care of your electrical needs. Even in the case of an after-hours emergency, the light in your life shines brighter with Mr. Electric.